gotta show me love. No more riding with lies against us. You gotta show me trust. Yeah. If you wanna ride with us, you gotta show me love. No more riding with lies against us. You gotta show me trust. If you're looking for inclusion, then talk to me. Talk to the family tree. We can all ride when it's time to slide on our enemies. And we can all ride when it's time to override these policies. If you wanna ride with us, you gotta show me love. No more riding with lies, sister. You gotta show me trust. If you wanna ride with us, you gotta show me love. No more riding with lies, sister. You gotta show me trust. You wanna ride with us, you gotta show me love. No more riding with lies against us. You gotta show me trust. Yeah. If you wanna ride with us, you gotta show me love. No more riding with lies. You gotta show me trust. If you wanna ride with us, you gotta show me love. No more riding with lies. You gotta show me trust.
So many of us to stand on business and call them out for vandalizing Essence. They weren't expecting that. They thought it was going to be a clean steal and a clean getaway. It ain't. Everybody's complaining. I just saw where Lauryn Hill was complaining. She was like, hey, I was late, but it wasn't my fault. It was them. Even Lauryn Hill had to come out saying, yeah, they complaining about me being late. That was them. That wasn't my fault. Everybody's complaining. The people there, the people performing, come on. Yeah, we got to call that out, as we should. We continue to call it out. Man. But foundational Black Americans, we are the culture, we are the engine, we are the blueprint, ladies and gentlemen. We are the creators of American Black culture, the music, the resistance movements, the language, the struggle, the intellectual frameworks that the world copies. Every major progressive movement in Black America and America, period, starts with foundational Black Americans. And let me tell you something. You are going to go and get in here on our terms. If you talking about allies, it's going to be under FBA terms. That's what it is. It's going to be under our terms. Remember when Essence, and I warned people about Essence years ago, just the fact that they would come out and that Kenyan woman.
Family, let me see, make sure my audio can be heard. I just be watching certain stuff when I'm not live, just trying to, catch up on some stuff that I may talk about. I'm doing some reading also.
Woman.
Hold on, family. Let me see, make sure my audio can be. All right, so anytime my audio is sounding janky, let me know. I'll switch the microphone. Yeah, so I'll be in the back watching certain things, taking a break from YouTube a little bit to get my faculties together, learn some new stuff to bring to y'all so we won't sound like a broken record on here. So for one, let me just say this. Some clown, I told you, family, they can't do anything with me. They try to wait for the most simplest, irrelevant mistake to point it out. So the dude pointed out I spelled graffiti wrong. I'm like, well, shit. When I was trying to spell graffiti, the internet said it was spelled like this. The white man said it was spelled. I got auto corrected. So I left it alone. But I was like, why does it matter? The point is, graffiti is obsolete and irrelevant. I said, hip hop stands on the shoulders of rap. Like you missed the whole. Whoever that was just read the title or read the thumbnail on there. When I said graffiti, when I listed the 4 elements, but he obviously didn't watch it because I was pointing out that graffiti and breakdancing and even MCing to a degree have all phased out. It's irrelevant. Hip hop solely stands on the shoulder of MCing or rapping. And why? Because it has solely, nobody claims this one. They'll make a claim for DJing, they'll make a claim for they'll make a claim for DJing, graffiti, tagging, and breakdancing, but none of them make a claim for MCing rap. And it's the only one with the glow, the constant glow. It's the only one that got bigger and expanded and has become international. It's the only one that put our culture before the world. It wasn't breakdancing, DJing, or graffiti. All right. But they love to try to sneak a correction here and there. All right, whatever. If that makes you feel good. But what about my overall point? The overall point, hip hop solely has become interchangeable with rap. Rap has become synonymous with hip hop alone. Okay, when they say rap, they say hip hop. And that's it. All right. Anyway, so let me talk to you guys what I got wind of. Right. I got wind of Pan-Africans. They realize they can't beat us. They know our argument is unbeatable, irrefutable. Right. Oh yeah, of course, we're the best rappers. Any other body, when they get a decent rapper, they got the little rainbow bars like Biggie Smalls. I already exposed them yesterday. But anyway, I noticed that Pan-Africans and Tethers, they can't defeat our arguments. As you can see, they call in all the time. With the most goofy and silliest arguments ever. So they said, hell, they literally said, if we can't beat them, we're going to join them and join them in a way of hijacking, which they do best, cosplaying. So they know they can't hijack ADOS. ADOS is very thorough. They're very clear in who they are and who they're not. They know they damn sure can't hijack FBA because, we got the you see the banner right there? We got the Black Anti-Defamation Defense, right? We're all defenders, so they can't hijack FBA. So they said, all right, let's hijack the one that is the most vulnerable, people talk about the least. And that was the U.S. freedmen, American freedmen. So they said, all right, well, let's go hijack that and let's pitch Pan-Africanism from that angle. Let's pitch African American from over there. All right. So I'm going to get right into that. Just give me a second. Let me play a video in the background. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get right to that. Just provide this commercial real fast.
In Australia.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, there it is. There it is.
Yes.
Quick commercial.
I wanted to ask you a couple questions.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you about your thoughts on white supremacy. I know you explain it very well.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you what your strategies to overcome it are. When you say you build businesses and things like that, what do you do to overcome these obstacles?
Well, you got to get codified. The name of the game is to be on code with people who's about Black empowerment. And that's one of the main strategies. Okay. Got to be on code with people who's on Black empowerment time. And a lot of foundational Black Americans generally are about empowerment. And, I try to get on code with as many of them as possible so we can replace the system of white supremacy with the system of justice.
You say you have a code or you need a code?
We get on code for the most part. We get on code with each other, and you just got to stay on code. And the more people who get on code, the more powerful you become as a group, and that erodes white supremacy.
What is in your code?
Well, the thing is, the part of the code is to make sure that the people of your lineage will not be mistreated, make sure that they're going to be good, make sure that they're going to be empowered, make sure they're going to have a sustainable lifestyle, make sure they're going to have protection, make sure they're going to have backup, make sure you're going to look out for them, make sure you're going to advocate for them. You know, make sure you're going to protect them from white supremacy the best you can. So that's part of the code.
I've been listening to your Hidden Colors. It's very, very good. Very
Yes,
good.
sir.
But I see when you talk about, you know, they have the I heard you talk about like the athletes. They get very rich in America, but then they stay in the leagues that are dominated by white people. Is that off code
Yeah, now when
behavior?
some of
I'm back, family. My bad for the small break. All right, but yeah, let's get into it. Pan-Africans is trying to sneak into freedmen because that's a term that we don't really use that much. There's no really big spaces where the term is freedmen is used to represent the lineage, because freedmen family, for the most part, is just a legal status. You dig? It's not really our, it's not at the name of our lineage. It's not our ethnonym. The freedmen was a real people who were called freedmen, you know. They were called freedmen because they were emancipated from slavery. Slavery was made illegal in this country. All right, and people who were freed from slavery were called freedmen. So you had freedmen from the 5 civilized tribes because the Native Americans had enslaved people, and you had freedmen who were enslaved by the South and the North. Right, the government was heavily involved. Those are also, so 2 groups of freedmen. All right, so freedmen just means you were freed from enslavement in America, and they created the Freedmen Bureau for those people. They created like for freedmen schools and things like that. Freedmen banks were created for those people specifically, and those people passed away. And then there was descendants of those people, right? And those people, the descendants of those people, called themselves Black in the 1960s. You dig? So when it was time to, they was called freedmen by programs, freedmen this, freedmen that, but that's not what they call themselves on a day-to-day basis. They call themselves Negro and colored. All right, so let's just be real. They didn't call themselves freedmen. Like, hey, what's up, freedmen? What's up, free sister? That wasn't going on. Okay, so what Pan-Africans do, they think they found a loophole there, and they did. All right, so I'm here to shut that down. All right. So I'll play a little audio from their clown show, and then I'm go in. Okay. All right. So let's play some of their clown show. So they had a fake debate, Freedmen versus FBA. Like what is that? Just made up stuff. They're trying to make up an argument that's not there. So let me just do this real fast. So for one, they were talking over each other. Like there's no such way to debate Freedmen versus FBA. It really it won't hit. It'll miss each other. So for that reason, these 2 idiots were talking over each other the whole time. All right. Okay. So because when you say freedmen, you're going to talk about law, politics. When you say FBA, you're going to talk about culture, identity, ideology, things like that. Okay. So these two were confused. It was like one of the worst debates you can ever watch. It's like arguing apples and oranges. It's just really dumb. Okay, so I want to get to the part where the guy wants to say that Freedmen is a better term than FBA. Let me see if I can see if I can find that part.
God is in the building. What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. It's something that we can. What is everybody?
And by the way, don't ever say I mute people or talk over people. I'm telling you, this channel is one of the fairest channels you can ever go to and have a disagreement or a debate with somebody. Because this guy right here, nowhere near me, cutting them off, straw manning him, just ridiculous.
And all people arguing that they're avos. There was a character in there. Oh, man, let me just look this name up. Let me look at this term.
Okay, so also this is a lot of tweeting that she hates. Now they're debating Freedmen versus FBA, and of course, a lot of tweeting that she hates, reared his head.
Let me read 8497. He is in the building. Think Twice podcast is in the building, guys. Guys are identical. You talking to the right one too. Groups, all these different identity groups. They don't want to be called African Americans. They want to be called this. They want to be called that. I don't know what's wrong with the term African American, but.
All right, so family, now these people, like this guy name floats around in these debate channels, these debate cycles. So if your name float around in debate cycles, then you definitely know who Unbiased Ron is. Okay, so these people purposely avoid me. Now he's supposed to be a debater and all this type of stuff. This person purposely, and everybody on his panel, I'm familiar with the names. They know what I do. They purposely avoid me. So now he said, what is wrong with the name African American? My boy, I got you. Just call in. I can explain that easily, the problem with African American. Okay? See, but he knows that he can't do what he does on his channel over here. He can't talk over me, straw man me. No, we're gonna talk. We're gonna dialogue. Okay? So here we are.
I decided to just throw something out there. I think we should ditch all of it. How about what we call, how about we identify as American freedmen? Because essentially that's our legal status in the United States of America.
I see, family, that's the mistake right there. You can be both. Matter of fact, we are both. We're freedmen by what he just said. Listen to this guy again. Listen one more time.
Black and white, because essentially that's our legal status in the United States of America.
Right, and we're gonna keep it right there. We're gonna keep it as our legal status, but our ethnicity is going to be FBA. Okay? Our ethnicity is going to be FBA. Foundational, Black American, and we're also an American descendant of slavery. So that covers our ethnogenesis altogether. All right. So freedmen is a legal status, like he said, but the name of us is FBA. So you could be both. You don't got to throw it away.
Black and white are only social constructs.
Okay, so there we go again. So he messing up again. He says black and white is social constructs. Black and white. Okay. Oh God. See, family. To get into this, we gotta dig deep. So white, as we know today, wasn't always like that in the let's say early 1800s, 1700s. That was not the case. So now I got to go here now. I was hoping I had to do too much going back. But it's a good thing because I kept saying I'm going to read up on I'm going to update my recollection on immigration in the United States. Right, because I started to lose some of my memory on my major talking points. So check this out. But that's why we are the Black anti-defamation defenders. So that means once we get with once we catch with of some type of attempt, see, we don't want to sit back and say, oh, they can't do this, they can't do that. Then they go do it like they took black and black. Hold on, they just took black. They just took African American. And you're saying they can't take freedmen? Okay. Okay. I believe that they're trying to call us African American in 2026. I believe we're delineating and self-identifying because they did do it. So we got to get off our lazy asses and stop saying what they can't do when they're actively doing it, when they're actively doing it. And we don't say anything. They'll be freedmen too. They'll be African American, they'll be black, and they'll be freedmen. And then we'll be too late. Okay, no. When this government get wind of a foreign nation undermining, compromising our security, our government doesn't wait until they actually be successful. Our government eliminates the threat immediately. The Jewish people got something called the ADL. When they get wind of something that may appear to be anti-Semitic, they're not going to wait until it's really anti-Semitic or when they affirm. They're going to attack it before it even gets started. So that's why I came up with BAD. We're black and bad. BADD. Black Anti-Defamation Defenders. Okay, we're the defenders, and it's the defense. We're the defenders. We are the ones who are executing the defense. All right. So when we get wind of something, we're not going to wait until it comes to fruition. We're going to attack it. We're going to eliminate the threat right away. Okay. When you see some type of insects in your home, you're not going to wait until they have a whole hive, have a whole, colony. You're going to get rid of the insects right away. So we got to stop being lazy minded, man. Don't want to stand up for nothing. Don't want to fight for nothing. Stop. We're going to counter strike and we're going to preempt this strike. So this is a preemptive strike. Once I seen this title, I watched a little bit of it. I thought it was garbage. And I said, all right, let me bring this to my family. So y'all got to stop whining. Okay. Just hear what's going on and let's neutralize it right away. So when its ugly face surfaces somewhere else, we already can destroy it. Okay, so relax. Scary. Okay. So he just said race is a social construct. He said that. And he's talking to, obviously, today in 2026. Well, hold on. Okay, when you say white and black, especially white, you first got to understand that in the 1800s and the early 1900s, white was not a broad umbrella for all Europeans to come to America. No, it was a specific club reserved for Anglo-Saxons, Northern and Western Europe, which I've been telling you guys, people from England. All right, so Jewish people, Italians, and Irish immigrants were initially seen as separate. They were also seen as inferior races, mixed races, tainted races. Okay, so their journey to whiteness was a process of assimilation and distancing themselves from us. So they came here as one of us, as far as grouped up as the inferior races, right? Non-Anglo-Saxon. But those folks fought like hell to get away from us. So when people say, "Oh man, no, they had like you," oh, stop. You had like us, and you ran to white supremacy. To not have it like us. So, for example, the Irish people, they were called Celts, right? So how did they become white? So for one, the Irish, they had the potato famine. And guess what? They're right next door to the UK, Great Britain. Great Britain ain't want nothing to do with them. It says starve and die. So when they came around the 1840s, they came to this country. Okay, 1840s, right? So before this whiteness, before this white social construct old boy's talking about, uh, these Celts, these Irish, okay, they were viewed as low-browed Celts. They had cartoons. They were often drawn in images, ape-like features, very similar to how they try to do us. Okay, and they sometimes were called flat out white Negroes or inside out blacks, whatever that means. Okay, but watch this. The Irish, they worked hard to become white. They became white by entering the workforce and the political machine, like what's that called? The Manning Hall. Okay, so they did this by joining the oppression of us black people, right? So in the mid 1800s, a lot of Irish immigrants competed with us with free blacks. Free blacks. That means before Emancipation Proclamation. So they came here mid 1800s. This is before the official freedom of slavery, right? They came here to compete with the free blacks of us for low wage jobs. So immigration was never our friend. Do you think we were happy to compete with these low browed people? Do you think we were happy to compete with these low browed people? That's what white supremacy called them. Called them low browed people. You think we were happy to compete for low wage jobs with them when we got ourselves out of when we got freedom for ourselves? Hell no. So when they came over here, weak friends, like, oh boy, here they come. Immigrants. So yeah, if ICE was around at that time, we'd have been happy like hell. ICE came and snatched them up and got them up out of here. You dig? So that don't work over here. All this fake we must protect illegals. And they were not even illegal. Anyway. Um anyway, they competed with free blacks for low wage jobs. And now listen, to win those jobs, look what they did. They organized and argued that as white men, so they called themselves white men, as the Anglo white people were calling them low browed Celts. They were coming together. Now we white like you, we white like you. Like the first Myron Gaines, right? And because they're white like them, they deserve the jobs more. Okay. So now by the late 1800s, it worked. White supremacy allowed them to trade their Irish racial status for a white racial status to gain social safety in America. So don't let no Irish man, no Irish woman sit here and complain or compare themselves to us. We had it like you. Yeah, but you teamed up with the oppressors to not have it like us. Italians, right? They are particularly um, came from southern Italy and Sicily, and they arrived in bulk between 1880 and 1920, a whole bunch of them. Matter of fact, most of the Italian immigrants that are here, or the most people who say they're Italian and they didn't come here, or I should say, who just came here recently, they don't count. But I'll just say this: the most Italian people you see in this country, they were already here. All right. Guess what? Guess how they were depicted? They were not depicted as Anglo-Saxons. They were depicted as Mediterranean or Alpine, which was considered a middle race, right? In some southern states, Italians were forced to attend black schools or live in black neighborhoods because of their skin color. They felt like white supremacy felt like it was too dark, and they were viewed as polluted by proximity to Africa. Okay, but what happened? Uh, if you know about the lynching thing, 1891 in New Orleans, where I think an Italian man was wrongly convicted of harming a police officer or deleting a police officer, and his conviction was overturned in court. And white supremacy said, "The hell you are." They came down, I think, in the hundreds of thousands, and they end up lynching 11 Italians. Okay, and they said, "Hey, man, we're gonna bring justice ourselves." Okay, the Italian government was outraged. We're talking about in Italy. The Italian government in Italy was outraged. So to smooth things over, the U.S. government began celebrating Columbus Day, okay, as a way to honor Italians and signal that they were officially part of the Western white civilization. All right, so they solidified their whiteness after World War II, moving to the suburbs, Levittown, and benefiting from the GI Bill, which was largely denied to Black veterans. All right, so don't give us that racial construct stuff. What about Jewish immigrants? They arrived in two waves: German Jews, mid 1800s, and Eastern European Jews, 1880s, 1920s. Okay, so they were seen as a what? Hebrew race. They were barred from hotels, social clubs, and universities. Ivy League schools had Jewish quotas. I mean, some can go, but until the 1960s, they were viewed as permanently foreign. Okay, so unlike the Irish or Italians, Jews didn't just use labor to become white. They used education and economic success. So after World War II and the horrors of the Holocaust, the term Judeo-Christian, I had a friend who went to a Judeo-Christian church, but the term Judeo-Christian was created to bridge the gap between Jews and Christians. Wow, I didn't know that was the reason for the church. So that was effectively moving Jewish people into the white tent for political unity against communism, right? So by the 1950s, the Jewish race category was dropped and they were classified simply as white Caucasian on the government forms. See how easy that is? So we got to stop. So the dude just, oh, white's a social construct. Yeah, you could say that right now. That's not how it was. Like these people worked hard. These people were not seen as white. Okay, they worked hard to become white. It's D. Yeah, so over here, we don't just say random stuff and because it sounds good. Oh, the social construct. Shut up. Just like black. Black was not an umbrella. White or black was not an umbrella for everybody of African descent or European descent. And black was specifically had everything to do with foundational Black Americans, the freedmen, okay? Not nobody from a foreign nation outside of US.
But our legal status in America, according to the Constitution of the United States of America, we're American freedmen. Here, let me put it down for everybody.
That's a legal status. That's your ethnicity. The government doesn't. We got to keep going over this with these dummies. The OMB does not name anybody. The OMB is called the Office for Management and Budget. They just collect data for the census. That's all. Everybody has a right to name themselves. So our legal status legally was on paper as freedmen, and then that was dropped. Then it was black, and then thanks to Jesse Jackson, African American was added around 1997. You think he would know that? But this is what happens. This is why guys like him stay away from my channel. They don't. Now I'm inviting them over here, but they would dodge me and debate people that really don't know what they're talking about to sound smart. It's like, no, I want the best. That's why what I do. I go to them, and I allow them to come to me. I don't cherry pick who I talk to. Like I've been asking for their best. I've been asking for Ruxpin, Dr. Ruxpin, but these guys be telling me, no, they're not coming. You dig? No, I'm not going to debate you, Ron. I don't want to talk to you on this. I'd rather just talk about you guys. But I don't want to talk to you because you're going to make too much sense. You're going to debunk this whole notion that Foundation Black Americans don't know Black history.
And maybe people gonna disagree with me. I understand that. I'm more than mature to have the conversation. But if I'm telling you that I'm not speaking on our origin, in which we know it's African, right? But I'm telling you who.
Wait, when you say our origin is African, see, this is a Pan-African who's trying to sneak under the term freedmen, American freedmen. Our origin is not African. They're mixing up our ancestry. Our ancestry is some of us ancestry is African, but our origins right here in America. Okay, yeah, what they continuously miss on purpose, and some are just that slow, is that our origin is our ethnogenesis. That's our beginning. That's our origin. Anything else is just ancestry.
Who we are today. We're a Creole-based people. We're no longer African in the sense of culture. We're American. We speak English. We celebrate American holidays. We attend American events. Everything that was African about us has been wiped out. Our heritage and everything, our identity. Our language wasn't allowed to be spoken. We weren't allowed to carry on anything African anymore
Okay.
in this country. We've
Right.
lost that identity. That was part of our identity that was oppressed. It's gone. Everybody wants to say that they're African on YouTube within the certain militant groups, but nobody wants to be African in the other groups.
I have no idea what that means. But so he's all over the place. All right. So he confuses legal status with ethnicity, as you just heard him. Okay. Your law term is not the same as your ethnonym. So freedman is a legal condition after slavery. Black American, ADOS, FBA is your ethno-political identity. Listen, courts don't stop you from using ethnonyms. Okay. Now, he said because it's in the Constitution, because freedman is in the Constitution, that makes it better. Okay, that is false legal logic. Okay, Negro, color, Black, African American, courts don't require you to use Reconstruction error labels. Let me say it again. Negro, color, Black, African American, courts don't require you to use Reconstruction error labels. Okay, so let's see what else he says. It's more foolishness. You can imagine. Oops. Oh, let's see. Okay. He also implied FBA confuses reparations legally. All right. So let him just talk about that.
So what is wrong with the term American freedmen? Yes, our origin is African, and we're our own unique, distinct group of Africans over here today. The process.
Brother, there's nothing African about us. All right. You can stop. Yeah. See how I hate this Pan-African? Where dude, you can be African all you want and take your goofy ass to Africa. Okay? Take your goofy ass to Africa, man. These guys, Africa all day long and be living like one of us their entire life. Okay, so let's get past
rights.
That. Yeah, I call that primitive talk. They want us to be primitive so badly. Let's shut that primitive talk down.
We can no longer have a problem with that because that's what it says in the United States Constitution.
Wait.
What does that? American freedmen. African to identify. We need to be using the term American freedmen.
Let me say this, my guy. There's no African that could claim to be a freedman. I can tell you, I can tell you right now. If there's an African running around saying he's a freedman, he won't be a part of nothing. Okay, nothing at all. Nothing U.S. based.
Now, who would have a problem with that? Because that's what it says in the United States Constitution. What does the American freedmen constitute? Well, maybe later on today, or if somebody wants, you were not, first of all, you were chattel. United States Constitution, one with the Department of Justice using it as his own playground. We can get into that another time. That go along with that. Adults and all that shit. I think it has been. I think those groups or these terms have come around to confuse us now. I clearly see it.
Clearly sees it. This is a guy that got bifocal, and he's telling you he can clearly see something. Brother, take those glasses off. You can't clearly see anything. Okay, like I said, he confuses reparations legally. A reparations eligibility is determined by lineage, policies, harmed, legal class definition, not the name you use, man. And this is what the problem is with the fake lawyers like Reverend R and Suntan the Gorilla. Like these little, oh no, see, you can't see this because the white man, shut up. Freedman is a legal word from the 1800s. FBA is a modern ethno-political identity. One is a court term, freedmen. One is a people term. They don't cancel each other out. One is a court term. I mean, family. Oh, you can't use FBA in court. Who said we were going to do that? That's a straw man. That's a straw man. When you say Adolf, that's FBA. When you say Freedman, that's FBA. What changes? When you say Solon, that's FBA. So yeah, we're going to use whatever term that's going to be required to get something done. So if Freedman is the term we must go by to get reparations and monies allocated and resources allocated, we'll take on Freedmen. Nothing wrong with that. Our ancestors were called Freedmen. What's wrong with that? It's no either or. Okay, so yeah, so that's what they mess up at. Freedmen's a court term, FBA is a people term. They don't cancel each other out. You use them both when you want to use them. Okay. What's this fool talked about? Okay. Here we go. FBA is not a political organization. Dude, it's just a name of people, man. You got people within the lineage that's gonna do things politically. They're gonna be lawyers. They're gonna be, architects. They're gonna be basketball players. They're gonna be scientists, school teachers. You dig? Where there's a whole bunch of us. There's 43 million of us. We're gonna do different things underneath the banner of lineage. All right. Anyway, okay, so they always equate on purpose delineation with hatred or disunity. Always. That's a false equivalence. Okay, Jews delineated from Arabs, Nigerians delineated from Ghanaians or Ghanaians, Italians delineated from Germans. So delineation does not equate to hatred. It does not equate to disunity. It's just ethnic classification. So one more time. Jews delineated from Arabs, Nigerians delineated from Ghanaians. Oh, are they divisive? Are they xenophobic? Italians delineated from Germans. Okay. So now he claimed FBA must produce political results. Again, they're trying to frame us into the Black Panthers, like some political movement. First of all, that's historically false. Okay. So Black American identity existed before modern Pan-Africanism. I keep pointing that out. We could talk about the Free African Society, 1787, predates Pan-Africanism. The AME Church, Richard Allen, 1860, predates Pan-Africanism. And Colored Conventions, 1830s, predates Pan-Africanism. These are FBA talking points. So Pan-Africanism is a philosophy, right? FBA is an ethnonym. One is ideology, one is identity. So saying that we must produce a policy or a bill is like saying being Irish American must pass a bill. Like it's just like the whole lineage must do something. Like, what are you talking about, man? We could just live and address harms that's done to us. That's all, like everybody else. Okay, so then they're gonna run to Tariq Nasheed website. They're gonna run to, oh, pre-Columbus claims, my guy. Pre-Columbus claims is not a requirement for one to be considered FBA. So that point is 100% moot. You just ask them, hey, is the pre-Columbus stance, is that a prerequisite for somebody to be FBA? Can you be FBA without being pre-Columbus? If the answer is yes, then kick rocks, and it is. The answer is yes. Okay. So whether you're pre-Columbus or whether you came on slave ships, I said it last night, I said it before, I'll say it again. If you have not gone through U.S. chattel slavery, you're not FBA. So going through U.S. chattel slavery, that is the beginning of one who can say they're FBA or not. All right. So if you came on slave ships, right, and then you were sent off to the islands or Brazil somewhere, and you never went through U.S. chattel slavery, then you're not FBA. If you were pre-Columbus and you were never lumped up with the people who came on slave ships, you never experienced U.S. chattel slavery, there's no way you're FBA. I would love somebody who believed they could be FBA without going through U.S. chattel slavery. I would love to hear that argument. Okay, so anyway. So again, FBA as a term does not require you to take a hard stance that you came through on slave ships or you came through or you already were here before slave ships. So again, you got some people who say, hey man, the slave ships never happened. We were already over here. Okay, that's fine. My question to them is, did you go while you was already over here? At any point, did your ancestors go through U.S. chattel slavery? If the answer is no, you're not FBA. If the answer is yes, then move out my way. Okay. If people argue that they came on slave ships, it's pointless to argue that they didn't. It doesn't matter. That what matters is, did they go through U.S. chattel slavery? That's what you got to ask them. Don't ask them how they got to the country, right? Or if they already been here. Those are weak arguments. The argument is solely based upon, did you go through U.S. chattel slavery? If you say yes, that starts the conversation of you possibly being FBA. Okay, so what they low key try to do is make Tariq Nasheed the leader. It's like because they know that they can't defeat FBAs without making somebody the leader. But as you can see, when they make you the leader, they're gonna tie you to all their antics, decisions, strategies, tactics, and especially if they go wrong. So Tariq Nasheed right now is in Africa, and the internet is about to fall apart. It's about to crash. It's about to shut down. Like he never been to Africa before. My God, he's the one who exposed Africa. Oh my God. So I'm gonna touch on that tomorrow. Tariq for Africa. But right now, I was watching this weird video of a debate, FBA versus US Freedmen, which is stupid. That's all. Anyway. Okay. So now what they do is they straw man us. He says what other people say. They'll say FBA don't do this. FBA don't read. FBA don't do jumper jacks. FBA don't go bowling. FBAs don't have fun. Like, and what they're really talking about is Tariq Nasheed. When they say FBA don't do this, FBA don't do that, in their mind, as they're saying that, in their mind, they're picturing Tariq Nasheed. Like, how do you want to say 43 million people don't do something? Arrogance, ignorance. Okay. So no, FBAs, we are not a registered political organization. You got that right. We're not a legislative coalition. You got that right. And we're not a lobbying group. Okay. They keep trying to act like ethnic identity equates to political institution. Everybody who's of the lineage, they must get into politics. They must do this. They must vote. They must do this. They must fight. They must be on the front lines of reparations. They must do this. They must build a school for Black boys. They must take Black people to the motherland. Like, come on. Listen, identity, uh, listen, I lineages are not responsible to pass laws. Okay, that's what organizations do. So family, when they argue with us, it's hard to even take them seriously because they like to argue that we are an organization. So that's why they say those things. That we're political. That they argue for. They don't care what we say about ourselves in FBA. In their mind, we have to be this because that's the only way they can debate us and have some type of victory. That we have to be a political organization. Otherwise, they have no real argument. Okay, uh, so they don't blame the word Latino for when Congress don't pass Latino bills. Oh, Congress didn't pass Latino bill. Oh my God, Latino is false. Latino is pseudo. Uh, okay, so now let me go here. Let me fast forward to more stupidity that they were going to. Let me fast forward it some. So now you got a panel with 30,000 people in here.
FBA is how it was conceived in its inception. Very disingenuous and actually opportunistic coming off the heels of ADOS, which embarrassed themselves in Congress every day to the point that you don't even hear them talking anymore because those Europeans made a fool of them in Congress and laughed at them when they thought they was going to be able to negotiate with a cracker. So I don't know. I've never really understood. I've always asked FBA, I guess, followers, if you want to call it.
Followers. I told you, like, family, we can never get the conversation going on as long as they keep saying that we're an organization, we're followers, we're this, we're that, we're cult members. And the minute we push back and say, well, okay, I'm an FBA follower. What is that? What is an FBA follower? Okay, so if I'm an FBA follower, then you're a Pan-African booty scratcher. That you're a Pan-African scammer. You're a follower after the king of scamming, Marcus Scam Garvey. That's your leader. See, we could just make Garvey their leader, even though Garvey is their leader. And speaking of Garvey, man, did y'all see when I showed them dollar bills, man? I cannot believe that there was money really in Garvey name in Jamaica. Oh my, that's a whole nother life. All right. So they want to call us everything that we're not. But look, let's start just when you do talk to these clowns, let's call them African American members, followers of Jesse Jackson, right? So we're gonna play this game. You're gonna give us a leader. Tariq Nasheed, all right, we'll give you a leader. It's either Pan Stam Garvey or Messy Jesse Jackson. All right. So you're gonna be a follower or cult member of Messy Jesse Jackson or Pan Scam Marcus Garvey. But they always got these questions that nobody can answer. Now, he act like he's in these FBA spaces with these stupid questions. One more time.
I've always asked. So I don't know. I've never really understood. I've always asked FBA, I guess, followers, if you want to call it that, what they actually stand for.
What is the dumbest question you can ask? You're like, yo, so we'll come back with, so what does the Puerto Rican lineage stand for? Like this, it's a dumb. What the Jewish nation stand for? It's the dumbest. What does African American stand for? Because he'll say he's African American and he's not FBA. Okay, so what is the African American follower stand for? You gotta just give the question back, and whatever your answer is, that's our answer. All right. It's stupid. It's always a told you is a stupid nothing burger question that nobody can answer this question because it's stupid. What is the Jewish nation favorite color? What do you that's a dumb question.
Like I still don't know.
And you will never know. I don't know because there's 43 million of us and we have different things we stand on, my guy. We're trying to straighten it out now. That's why we're delineating. And you know it's crazy? Asking these questions but don't want us to delineate. It's like, yo, ask us again later. Let us continuing delineating and we might just have a unified thought in some things. But you're standing in a way, you're trying to block our delineation movement and then have the nerve to ask a question like a white supremacist. A white supremacist will uh, be the root cause of overcrowding. All right. These guys are overcrowding the neighborhood. They're destroying the buildings. Yeah. But why are we overcrowded, white man? Why, YT man? Why are we overcrowded? Okay. That's because you have laws like the HOLC or you have programs like the HOLC, which excluded us. You have things like FHA, which excluded us. And you have racial zoning laws where we can't move out. Then you have restrictive covenant laws where we cannot move out. Okay. Then you got the man in the house rule. Like you got exclusive rules for us. And then when you get the achieved negative result, you'll come back and blame us. And that's kind of what Elijah Muhammad said. He said that they will cause a problem, provide a solution, and now they're the hero. Or they'll cause a problem, point it out, and say, hey, y'all gotta solve that. So this was his grand question.
I actually try to intently listen to gain some knowledge and understanding. I don't even know what FBA's purpose is.
Okay, see, family, he's just gaslighting. He doesn't know what FBA purpose is. Okay, brother, are you an African American? Are you an African American follower? So let me ask that question back by asking you the same question because we might can figure something out. Are you an African American follower? He's gonna say no. I'm gonna say, well, you are. Okay. And what is your main purpose? The African American followers. You just give it right back to them. It's a stupid, disingenuous question that's intended to gaslight.
Mm-mm. And nobody's been able to tell me that follows it.
I don't think it stands for nothing.
I guess nobody ever can, man. You dig? You're asking stupid questions that nobody can. Be like, okay. Hey, your family, go to a Mexican and ask them the Mexican agenda. Sounds so stupid, yo.
Nothing. It's the name. The name is self-explanatory. It means you're a foundational Black American. It's not a gang. It's not a group. It's not a club. It's just recognizing that your ancestors.
It's not an organization. It's not a group. It's not something you can follow. Computer tripping again. Not something you can follow, or dude. It's not a TikTok group where you just press follow. It's not a Twitter group you just press follow on.
more than likely did not come over here as immigrants and have been here and have generations here, and it's not anything else. So please, you don't got to mix it up
Okay,
no more. And I don't speak for all 43 million black people. I'm telling you
Right.
my definition of it.
okay, so let me.
Now here he asked a dumb, stupid question. That's rhetorical. He gave the answer. So the guy's gonna families, what they do, he's gonna repeat the question again as though the answer wasn't given. You know why they do that? Because they thought it couldn't be answered. They realize how dumb the question is and how easily it can be answered. So now I never watched this. Okay, I didn't get this far, but I will bet some coins that he's gonna repeat the question. I think they're on mute. Oh no, I'm on mute. Oh my bad. Dang. I remember doing that. Okay, all right. Hold on.
3 million black people. I'm telling you my definition of it.
Okay, so let me ask you this: if you don't stand for anything, what's the
Yeah, he just told you if you don't stand for anything. He's like, yo, I can't speak for 43 million people, man. I can only speak for myself. What are you talking? Now 43 million don't stand for nothing.
purpose of the delineation?
Bingo. Because we delineated in 17 with Free African Society. That was the delineation.
Oh, let's
Right.
let him answer that. Let's let him answer that. Let's let him answer that.
Okay, so the guy who said bingo. Now, these guys talk about the Free African Society. I bet you he couldn't explain that. I bet you he couldn't explain what they had going on. Now, that dude talking, like he's definitely rainbow in denial. This dude is team rainbow in denial.
Go ahead.
I think the purpose of the delineation is probably one of the ground floor steps in towards reparation, being identified as our own solid ethnicity and not, mixing us in with anybody, just saying.
Matter of fact, let me put this link in the chat. I really didn't expect the family to show up in large numbers. This is gonna be a quick little bang bang bang. I didn't think I'd be up. I'm snowed in, so I ain't got nothing to do. I ain't got to work tomorrow. So let me go ahead and put the link in the chat in case somebody got some dumb questions like this. This stupid question, bad faith, disingenuous question, man. It pisses you off. It really pisses you off.
And hey, we foundational. We've been here since the inception of the country. We're not from any other country. We here. Our ancestors have fought in these wars, bled, lived, and died here.
So if that's the case, and history has already substantiated that, what's the need to come with a new name? What's the purpose?
Yeah, you heard this guy? He said, what's the need to come with a new name as though African American ain't the new name to black? Like, yo, are you serious? Family. He just said, what is the need for a new name? That's why I say, man, like they pick and choose who they speak to. They pick and they always, this is their own platform. This is their own platform. They don't go nowhere like I do. Like I go, they say Sinetta is the toughest environment. I go to Sinetta. I go I go JJ. I went to Chief Karen recently. Been muted like hell. So y'all see me, man. I'm out here spreading my wings, trying to flex. What's up, Suburban Swerving?
Peace.
Peace.
Was that the brother Consul?
No, that was not. That was I know one was a sweet dude. No, they wasn't Consul. I didn't want to. I don't want to give them. It wasn't Consul for sure. It wasn't not Consul. It was not him.
Okay.
Sound
like it, but and I was listening to what he was saying, because if there was Consul, it makes sense, because the guys are biased, bro. They
I
got
don't think it's. I don't think that was considered. You know, I'm a listen now more that you said that because I didn't really like put the voice together, but I kind of know how he would debate, and because I used to build with him a
right,
lot, but I
right.
don't believe that's him.
So see, even he get they. I know the circle, bro. So like it depends. It just depends. If it's something that's going against what they standing on over there, it doesn't matter whether they believe it or not. It's a group thing. They're gonna rock with it, or they're not gonna rock. You know what I'm saying? So same kind of shit, man. And then you gotta think like, and what you're saying is absolutely right, bro. Like these people from all these uh different groups or whatever. Everybody's just like, and they own these echo chambers, and they want to just like, I don't know. It's like you say, it's religious. They're holding true to these things, right or wrong, and it's convoluting a lot of shit, bro. Like it convolutes a lot of things. Like a lot of these talking points that we have to defend don't have nothing to do with nothing.
Right.
Like you shouldn't have to defend a lot of this shit because it just makes no sense to even be interjecting it. So that's it, man. I
But you
just,
know what?
I just
But I know it should be nothing to talk about, but like I say, it does make for conversation, and you never know. Like this might be an FBA stumbling block. They might come across that weak channel, listen in, and really think they have a point. Now Afro Think Tank is in the chat, so we want him to click the link. We want Afro Think Tank to click the link and come on here. Like maybe he could provide a better argument than what these guys provided. All right. So yeah, so you ready, Afro Think Tank? Click that link. He said what did he say? He said, how you gonna get them reparations? Why would it be on me to get them reparations? It's a long that's the thing. That's another bad faith question. That's why he won't click the link to ask the question himself. When it comes to us, Black Americans, everybody when we stand for something and want something done, the way the world aha us that they expect us to accomplish it in 24 hours. For us, it's always a shot clock. When Black Americans want to get something done, there's always a shot clock. Now, I just went over how the Celts became white in America. I just went over how the Italians became white in America, and I just went over how Jewish people became white. It took 60 years, 100 years for these people to be added into whiteness. But for us to get something done, it has to be 24 hours or it's no good. Or it's a sham. It's a nothing burger. It's not a worthy attempt. These same folks who troll us, you know they don't know history, right? Because it took 250 years to be emancipated from slavery. Now, slavery was something that we thought would never be able to or we'll overcome, right? We felt like we'd be enslaved forever. And then you had Jim Crow that followed slavery another 100 years. Jim Crow seemed like a permanent uh, racial system that's going to last forever. Some people die. Dr. King died under Jim Crow. Malcolm X died under Jim Crow. Emmett Till died under Jim Crow. You feel me? So a lot of people die under Jim Crow. They never seen integration post Jim Crow. They never seen post Jim Crow. Right. So people didn't think this was a reality. Um, but look how long it took. 100 years. Even though Obama's not FBA, people would never think there would be a melanated, brown skin, mulatto African president. People thought the presidents will always be lily white. And look how long that took for some people, for some foundation of Black Americans to want to see. So, but again, when it comes to us, it's a 24-hour shot clock. 24-second shot clock. We must do it now or it's nothing. But everybody else, they can take as long as possible. Okay, they could take as long as possible to get their thing straight. Look at Israel and Palestine when they're trying to do the border thing, right? They're trying to get peace in the Middle East. Hey, African think tank, when is that going to happen? When is peace in the Middle East going to happen? You see, that could take forever, and everybody's so optimistic it'll happen one day, right? But when it comes to us, people are optimistic, not pessimists. People are optimistic that peace in the Middle East will happen one day. People are optimistic that Ukraine and Russia and this and that. But when it comes to foundation of Black Americans, people are pessimistic when it comes to us. Nothing but pessimism follows us. But everybody non-FBA, optimism is their future. Yeah. Now look, I told you. So a guy who asked a question in the chat that can easily be answered, just answered. I said it's not my. When did one Black American say we can get reparations for the whole lineage? It's a process. So again, like this guy that we're listening to from the video, they ask a rhetorical, crazy question, and then when they get the answer, they expect it to be something else, and they'll just ask the question over and over and over and get the same answer, just reiterated, just expressed different ways, repackaged different ways, same answer. And they'll ask the same question. Dude, no answer is going to satisfy you, my guy. Now we don't have a 10, 40 year. Matter of fact, we don't even look at this guy. He's trying to this African think tank guy. He's trying to frame us to just reparations, bro. Listen, reparations gonna do what it do, but some of us don't even think about reparations. All right, that's what you think about. We think about delineating, my guy. Some of us find right now delineating is more important than reparations. All right, because there's no reparations if there's no delineation. So no, we're not thinking about reparations right now like that. We're thinking about delineating. Delineating has become number one. Right? So look, here we go. Which politician are we going to support? You don't gotta support none of that. Let me get back to the video because my man just with the typical he's with the typical Pan-African
do some
argument.
weird shit. He's swung in his.
Hold on. Yeah, he's with the typical Pan-African talking point. Here's my life in exchange for yours.
Has become number one.
Yeah, what's up?
So look, here we go.
You might got mute your background.
Okay, how you doing? Hey,
thank you.
I just want to make a comment because you just asked a question what we got to do. I think we doing the right thing by delineating because hey, the Chinese got their stuff. They didn't say they was Asian Americans. No, they said they were Chinese. And they got money.
The Japanese?
They got their money. The Jews, they didn't say they was all white people, they from Europe. They said, no, we were Jews.
Right.
And they got their money. So FBA is saying, hey, no, we're not gonna say we African. So why we can't get our money? Why everybody getting all this money?
Right.
Cubans, the Cubans are upset right now because some of them getting kicked out the country. But they got their rights by saying they was Cuban. They didn't say they were Latin Americans.
Spanish or Hispanics and all that.
Right, they didn't say none of that. They said, no, we Cubans. So now FBA say, look, I ain't gonna even lie. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't think we need to call no dark-skinned people black, period. But they stole our black name because when I was coming up, when you say you was black, you automatically we assume you from America.
Right. Yeah,
No, the
we were a
whole
chattel
world
slavery lineage.
with dark skin saying they black. I
Right,
thought
right. And
black
we're
was
saying,
just for us.
well, it was. They hijacked that. They're hijacking. They hijacked that. They try to usurp it with African American, and that ain't work. And now they're trying to hijack American freedmen.
Hijack America, you can't do that. Period.
Yeah, the dude is talking all this stuff in the chat. Do you know
Yeah,
the
I hear him.
definition of delineation? Now look. These guys do all that.
Freedmen. Oh my God, man, stop it.
Look, they do all that whooping in the chat. Do you know the definition of delineation? Hey, bro, you definitely don't want to do a tit for tat with me, my guy.
Hit the link.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Yeah, no. We're not answering no simple questions. We want to continue with our show, but yeah, man, you don't want to go tit for tat with me. You dig? The link is there. You ask me a question, I answer. I got a question back for you, and we'll see who questions are more meaningful and relevant for the topic. All right. Anyway, let me play some more of this garbage.
Oh,
I think so we
Because
can be identified. 'Cause I
history has
think,
already explained that.
what the fuck?
yeah, history has explained that, but the term Pan-Africanist or Pan-Africanism, I don't think that is getting us anywhere
I didn't ask you
politically. So I
about
think
Pan-Africanism,
I'm
bro. I don't even want to. I don't want to touch that. I'm asking you.
You heard him. I don't want to touch on that. Well, yeah, exactly. That's why you want to come over here, because we're going to touch on Pan-Africanism. All right. We ain't going to be the defender where we just being attacked. No, we're going to throw some. You know what? When Raleigh when it was going to fight Tank Davis, right? And he was like, I'm gonna throw all these punches and do all this. And Tank Davis was like, that sounds good, but what you gonna do when these bombs start coming back at you? You dig? So no, when y'all click that link, you'll get bombed back at you. Ain't no, we just sitting here, the pinata for Pan Africans and tethers. It ain't gonna happen.
Brother Ron, you mind if I step in real quick, brother?
Sure.
Yeah. For this musty tether in the chat. Well, there's actually two of them, but there's musty tether in the chat, man. How about you hit the link, dog, instead of talking in the chat? Ron is a very fair person. He'll let you talk your shit. He'll let you get it off and then go back and forth. How about you hop in the link, the Zoom, because we know you on YouTube, Afro Think Tank. We know you on YouTube, my nigga. So hop on the link. Stop being a pussy and hop on the link. That's all I gotta say, bro. Because
Click
I'll go
link.
back
You
and forth
notice?
with him if you don't want to. I'll do it with
Nah, hey, look,
him.
what I do is this. This is 2026. I got some resolutions I stick with. Nobody's gonna just bring up random stuff we just gonna talk about. Okay, we are reparationists and we are delineationists, but
There you go.
our core talking point on this channel is delineation. Now you got other channels where their core talking points are reparations. Now we don't mind getting into that discussion, but no, we're not gonna let you try to pick the lesser of the two. No, if any link is being clicked, we're talking about delineation 24/7. Okay, delineation. That's it. Like nobody's going to dictate away from our strongest stance. It's delineation.
There you go.
Now look, here can this weird dude Dex calling in. I'm gonna slice him up and I'm gonna get back to the show. All right.
I bet.
Yeah. Reparations because they think they found a soft spot. So right now, okay, all right, we'll talk about that later. On this show, we mainly talk about delineation. Okay. Now his name is Annoying Dex. What you want, man?
What's up, Ron?
What's up? Go ahead, man. Go ahead and get cooked.
Nah, so by definition, lineage is basically saying that the FBA has African lineage.
What?
By definition. If you read the definition of lineage,
here we go.
The definition,
wait,
FBAs have African lineage.
Wait. Slow down. You said if I type in lineage right now, it's gonna say what?
It's
Say
going to
again.
say, by
All right.
definition, FBA has African lineage.
So you said if I type in lineage, take a lineage. All right. Let's see. I don't see FBA at all in the definition here. What are you talking about, man?
All right, let me look it up for you. Let me see if I can share. Let me see if I can share my screen, bro.
Well, you can't. I've got my screen. You can't share your screen. But I'm saying you just said you gave me instructions, and I had to repeat it 2 or 3 times. You said if I define lineage, which I just did, you said it's going to pop up and show FBA have African ancestry. I just
No,
typed in lineage.
using a straw man argument.
Wait, so
look up.
okay, so
All you got to do is type in Google and look up definition of lineage. And I said by definition, FBAs have African lineage.
wait, hold on. So if I type in, I just wait a minute. You didn't just see my screen? I typed in lineage. I typed in the
I think you're
definition of
playing
lineage
crazy.
just
That's
now.
what I think you're doing.
All right. Well, you about to play boot.
All right,
in a
let
second.
me read you the definition of lineage.
No, I just play. Let me do it again. Okay, let's go again. Am I not doing any instructing me? Definition. That's what he said, right?
Yes, definition of lineage.
Okay, so read my screen.
Yes, it says lineal, which means line, descended from an ancestor or ancestry or pedigree.
Okay, so where do you see African in the definition?
I mean, I said by definition. I never said in the definition.
Oh my man, dude. What you got to do is
Semantics.
look.
Semantics.
That's not
Yeah,
semantics.
no, but
I said
well,
that.
hold on, Dex. Dex, listen, Dex. Here we go again.
Why do you mute me?
Because you're talking over me. I'm the host. I'm about to get some words in, and you're talking over. You called in as a guest. Okay, you forget. These guys be so entitled. They call in and believe they're co-hosts. All right. So now what he has to do is this. It is pseudoscience to blindly say people have African ancestry without ever knowing their ancestry. So what he's trying to say is if somebody say they're FBA, they must have African ancestry. Bro, you said now look, he said lineage. What are you talking about? Our line is in America. Now watch this,
How when
Dex.
you
Hey,
descend
Dex.
from an African ancestor, you descend from
Hey,
African
Dex.
ancestor.
No, we don't. I descend from a Black American.
All right,
My
show
mom
us
is Black
proof.
American.
Show us proof. Show us your
Okay,
ancestry.
okay. I got you. I got you. My mom is Black American. My dad's Black American. Their mom is Black.
Show
Harrison.
us
My last
proof
name is
of your
oh, no.
show us proof of your
Okay,
ancestry.
okay. But here's the proof. The proof is right now. You're going to back check. Yeah, he left like a coward. I thought I muted you my life exchange by mistake. Okay, so this dude just made up a crazy. He said something stupid. All right. My last name is Harrison. You can track Harrison all the way to the law. It's from North Carolina. You could trace Harrison going back to back to back to back. And then my father's last name. That's my mom. My father, it goes back to back to Mississippi and back to back to back to back. That's easy for us. Yo, some of us did our 23andMe, and some of us see our generations there, my genealogy that shows the genealogy. Why'd I show a tether my genealogy? That's wrong with you, man. But for some of us who did our 23andMe, it shows you like the last name and the last name changes and your mom had this last name, then her mom was married. And that it's kind of dope. You see like the evolution of last names and how you got your last name under her. It's like it's usually some marriage stuff at some point. Yeah, but what is he talking about? He said lineage. That's a line. We don't have a line in Africa.
Exactly.
Is it somebody named Harrison in Africa that I don't know about? Is there a Harrison in Africa? Okay, if you could do that, you a bad man. But even still, if you could find a Harrison in Africa, there's still a such word called ethnogenesis. Like you could, my name could be Shaka Zulu, right? The simple fact I went to U.S. chattel slavery, I came over here on a boat or always been here, whatever, where you want to mix that up. The simple fact I experienced U.S. chattel slavery with millions of others, you dig, is my new start. Ethno means people, Genesis means beginning, origin. New people, new beginning. This guy's making up a line of Africa. Okay.
Hey, Ron, can I say something is okay?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. They always come in on us, Black Americans, FBAs, talking about we from Africa. So with that logic he got, can we say white people are not Americans either because they from Europe? Oh. Can we say they from the Caucasian mountains?
But most importantly, if we're allowed to now use Africa, the generic term, then that means we can say African, South African. See, but then they'll say you can't say that. You got to be specific. The tribes, see, they didn't want to break it down to the lowest common denominator. But when it comes to us, we're just the generic Africans. But if you point out Africans sold us, oh, it wasn't all Africa. It was. It's cheap for here. This from this village, from this coast. It wasn't all of Africa. It'll go there. Now, Dex, I'm not interested because Dex, until you learn how to be a guest, I won't allow you back on here. Okay, you guys see me go to different platforms. I get muted. I get told wait my turn in a hostile environment. What do? I wait my turn. I get muted. I don't overtalk the host. I don't demand stuff. I wait for my time to talk. And guess what? When I get annoyed, when I think I'm not getting a fair shot, I just hang up. When I was on Chief Terrence's show, the dude asked me a question. I go to answer. I get muted. He asked the question again. This time he take longer to ask it. Okay, and then he says I'm doing trick words. I go to answer again. I'm muted again. The bottom line is I never got a chance to answer. I just left. Okay. So, but you don't got to be disrespectful. You don't got to overtalk the host. Okay. So Dex, that's how Dex normally does. But we know that a lot of people have ADHD. They just can't settle down. They just can't. Everybody on this panel right now is cool, calm, and collected. It's 2 a.m. on the East Coast. It's probably 11 p.m. on the West Coast. Who knows? And down south is probably 1 a.m. But nobody should be hyped up right now at this time.
Mm. Can I?
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, brother.
Oh, the Cubans are being deported right now, and they all screaming that they're Americans, and they only been here less than 50 years. We've been here 400, 500 years, and everybody like, nah, y'all ain't American. But the Cubans are American, and they only been here less than 100 years.
Exactly.
Right. That's another thing. That part. Now, you know, it's funny. The Pan-Africans will fight to call us African American, right? So to piggyback on what you just said. So they'll call us African American. Then when we embrace our Americanness that they said we are, they'll get mad and say what you said. They'll say, you're not American. You just called me an African American, my guy. So now when I embrace my Americanness, now all of a sudden I'm no longer American. Like, dude.
Moving the goalposts.
Yeah, knock it. All right. So Afro think tank said he's trying to see if we're worthy of his presence. My guy. This that King of Zamunda bullshit. Like this guy is a king. He's probably polygamous. He probably polygynist. He probably got 10 wives. I'm sure you're the king of your castle, my guy. I'm sure they call you royal think tank and all type of crazy names, bro. Over here, you're just human, bro. You don't have a presence to be blessed and welcomed and respected and reverence. You're just somebody calling them some weird ass questions. Now, but you call over here, if it ain't about delineation, pick rocks. All right. And matter of fact, you're not even gonna ask no questions. We're gonna ask you the questions. How about that?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, you click that link. Yeah, you click that link. We're gonna ask you questions.
Yep.
All right. All right. So let me play some of the rest of this video. These weirdos.
This week we're
okay. Hold on.
About your term foundational Black American, who are you trying to validate that to? Who are you trying to get acceptance from to
We're not
validate that?
validating anybody and getting acceptance from anyone. It's just stating
Okay.
who we are.
Blacks
So
comprehend.
so where
For
did it
what
come from?
purpose?
What's the purpose?
It came out of an idea that we are our own ethnic group and we're not associated with any other continent. For the last 500 years, we had an ethnogenesis and we became our own ethnic group. Simple as that.
Okay.
But what does
So,
that get you? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Consul. Let me shut up.
that's all right. It's okay.
Council, let me see. I think I heard Council. Let me go back.
Years, we had an ethnogenesis and we became our own ethnic group. Simple as that.
Okay.
But what does
So
that get you? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Consul. Let me shut up.
that's all right. It's okay.
Oh, so you were right then. That is Council. I was wrong.
Yeah, man.
Council.
I know the
Wait,
brother very well.
that ain't Council for Timo Cyrus, is it?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Sounding that dumb?
That's why, bro. That's why I called. I say, bro, I can't believe, bro. I don't even. I can't even believe he's arguing these points. Like, I was just on the phone with this guy like maybe a month or two ago. So I knew he didn't.
You're
I know
smarter
he
than that.
wasn't. Yeah, I know he wasn't gonna back it, but the points that he's making, I don't. Yeah, you like you
It's
say,
so
you don't.
elementary.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, I
yeah,
didn't think I didn't think he'd dumb himself down
right.
to that degree, but you know what? Maybe he was always that dumb. You know, like sometimes this stuff right here exposes like look how Reverend Reggie looking right now. Like complete
But
fool.
bro, I don't. My point is, I don't think they're that dumb. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
I don't think they're that dumb. So it's like, why are we continuing to, bro? It's like they always said, bro. This shit is putting a monkey wrench in a lot of people's game.
You're selling all that African stuff.
Yeah, it's putting a
Yeah,
monkey wrench in a lot of their game, man. All that.
yeah.
I
Cause,
mean,
'cause
and it
all
ain't just.
those RBG
It's
shoes in storage, he's trying to get
man.
his money back.
It's so much though. It's not even just that. Like y'all brought up the point with the tours and all
Yeah,
this
they got
kind
all
of
those
stuff,
books to sell
bro.
too.
Like,
Like what you called, you
yo,
became a
books,
new, what you called, you became
bro,
a new author,
books
self-published
to
author.
sell, groups that they need to recruit people to join. You understand me?
Another conference to sell tickets to.
All of that. Another lecture to sell. You know you gotta keep seats in these lecture in these little libraries, these little
Yeah,
bookstores.
yeah. What you got? Ruxpin just showed like some Pan-African lecture of all these Pan-Africans in there, and I'm sure he charged $25 a seat.
Man, bro, come on, man. Been doing this. They've been doing this shit 30, 40 years, man. Not even that. Dr. Brennan was doing it. So you talking about something that's been going on almost 50 years of a small economy, a small industry. Capitalism rules, dog, in all facets.
If y'all
So
brothers don't mind, let me add this real quick to the pot. These dudes are so arrogant, lecturing us about African this, Black Power that. We taught y'all that, bro. What are you talking about? Like this dude, Afro Think Tank, and the rest of these clowns. Dude, we taught you guys how to have pride in Africa. None of y'all was talking this stuff till we started doing it. Now that we want to step back a little bit and gather ourselves, it's a fucking problem. No, the problem is you can't scam niggas no more. That's the problem. And brothers like Ron are holding it down and laying it out, and you don't like that because it's waking our people up to the scam. Fucking goofy. Better call your ass in here, nigga. You being summoned from your tribal hut with your hyena bones. You being summoned, nigga.
Hey
You know
Ron,
what? Yeah.
hey Ron, how many of you think those pro-African people gonna join the Black Lion clan or the Black Lion Party?
Right.
Since we kicked their butt
Listen.
out, couldn't use the Black Panther name no more.
Mm-hmm. You know what? What was Afro Think Tank teaching before he hopped on this bandwagon?
How to cook Joe Law.
Yo, let me see let me do some research on this guy. Let me see his videos that he was going into before this. This
Teach how
guy
to.
grifted hard as hell.
He is, bro. Nigga teaching how to boil frog legs in a bushfire, man. Like, get the hell out of here, boy. Trying to lecture us about Pan-Africanism, bro. We the ones that was funding Dr. Ben and all them people. It was us.
All right. So Dr. Ruxpin said it was free. Well, brother, then you got the only free event for Pan-Africans. I'm telling you, yo, but what about since you're in the chat, what about your guy on Garvey, my guy? You let your guy lie like that, and when you asked him a question about the stock certificate, I know you got that from me. I was the first to point that out. My man actually paid like a $50 fine for being an unlicensed, either unregistered or unlicensed, one of them, I forgot. But he even got a fine. But yeah, but you let the guy romanticize Garvey on your platform, just lying like hell. Listen, y'all ain't gonna get nowhere lying, okay? Because first of all, we on you, like we on y'all hard. So when y'all start lying, we right behind y'all, cooking y'all. So to have a guy representing Marcus Garvey is crazy. Knowing Marcus Garvey, the dude never talked about Marcus Garvey meeting with the KKK, or did he? Whatever he did, it was a stupid reason. Then he because we don't link up with KKK members. Then he didn't explain why Marcus Garvey continued to solicit stocks from Black Americans when he knew there was no confirmation with the Liberian government that he can bring not even one person over there. Like he had no arranged agreement that was solidified that he could bring one Black American to Liberia, and he still sold that dream that he's going to bring Black Americans to Liberia. That's called a scam. You're promising something that's not even confirmed yet, and you're selling tickets. Because when he sold the stock certificates, those were tickets. He's selling tickets. It's something that's not even official. That's a scam, bro. And that's what we call a scam. So we're right calling him a scam. And then he doctored up a brochure of an old German ship called the Orion. He doctored up that and called it this Y.S. Wheatley, I forgot whatever name he gave it. And it was not his ship. He doctored up a German ship called the Orion. He doctored it up and said this is his new ship, and Black Americans is part of BSL, and Black Americans should buy stock certificates on this new ship. He never owned it. That ain't scamming. That ain't scamming, Dr. Ruxpin. That's the definition of scamming, dude. And that's why he wanted his ass gone, and he got gone. So he failed in Jamaica with his UNIA movement. He came to America. He failed here, was short-lived. He failed here. He went back to Jamaica, tried it again, failed. He went to London, tried in London, and failed. He's a 4-time loser, man. He's the Buffalo Bills. He's the New York Buffalo Bills. Get to the bowl 4 times and choke.
There's all that Aki and saltfish in his lungs, man. Brother, you see, when you present facts to these people, brothers, they start crying and they start making up weird arguments. Like Stink Tank was saying, what's the goal of delineation? To keep delineating. That's the goal, nigga. What the fuck?
Which was stupid.
It's stupid.
Stupid bad faith argument. What's the goal of a
goal
lineage?
is to get away from you niggas.
Exactly.
And if anything, brothers, instead of this Pan-African stuff, if anything, maybe in the future, 20, 30, 40 years from now, maybe they could change their name to Pan-America. Because they need to come to us. We don't need to come to them.
Yeah. How come they always begging us for money and engagement? Because we the ones that got money. Then they say we broke. Oh, the white man got more money than you. Wait a minute. Well, then why you asking me for money? You broke bum. These niggas
White
are
man,
fake.
the white man wasn't there when we had Aid for Africa and everybody singing "We Are the World." Michael Jackson gave them money.
And what they do with it. Well, what does Africa look like now for the most part? Like they love talking about I show speed. He is changing their mind. No, he ain't. The nigga, they were begging that nigga in Nigeria for money. He got ran up out of Egypt. What are you talking about?
$10,000. Give me $10,000. I need $10,000.
Exactly. Man, some of the brokest, most begging people in the world, man. Like nigga, pull yourself up by your tribal jock strap, your boots, your sandals, whatever you got, your hyena toe sandals, and go walk to the job office, nigga. How about that? Like Anthony Joshua, the brother unfortunately had an accident. They had people that were stealing from them brothers' dead bodies, man, in Nigeria. And then when the Nigerians, like the
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, when Anthony Joshua's uncle called it out, the Nigerians came out, no, that is not true. This is a lie from the white man, the government, China. It's like, nigga, he's one of y'all. He's Nigerian. And you lying on him? Like, nah. These niggas are scammers, dog. You right, Ron. Keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Hey, I got a question.
Go ahead.
This question don't go for Ron though. It go for
Who's that famous Dex though?
Yeah. I'm gonna be respectful and super quick.
He's back.
I got a question for these dudes though, Ron. This ain't a question about to you. It's just a question to them.
It gotta be to me. This is my channel, so it gotta be to me.
Okay, if you want it to be, but it's a super simple question.
Yeah, but wait. Why do you wait? Hold on. Why? Wait, stop. Every time you call in, I allow you to ask questions like we're just human pinatas. Now, we got questions for you. Okay, so before you hold that question, we got some questions for you. Okay. All right, are you okay?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, so first of all, we don't know anything about you. At the very least, you know we acknowledge ourselves as FBA, so you already have a starting point with us. How you identify yourself? Pan-African, uh, tether, like what's up with you?
I don't get your question. So are you
Where
asking
your
Okay,
people
so
from?
what?
Are you
Yeah,
asking me
what's
who I am personally?
no? Where your lineage from? Are you lineage from another country, or you U.S. chattel slavery?
It's here in America. It's here in America.
U.S.
I'm
chattel
I'm a, I'm a,
slavery or foreign
I'm
country?
I'm a FBA by your definition.
Yeah, but I'm asking you,
Mm.
is it U.S. chattel slavery or like what's your story, or is it a foreign country?
U.S. chattel slavery.
Okay. So do you call yourself? So you don't call yourself FBA, right?
No, I don't. I don't go by that.
Do you go by? So what do you go by?
Um. Well, I identify as black. That's what
So
I identify as.
so it's just black. You just a black guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Like when
Black.
I mark something on the paper or anything, I just
Yeah.
identify as black or African
Yeah.
American.
Yeah. But
For that.
okay. There we go. So when you say mark something, you talking about the OMB. They don't describe you, bro. They actually come behind. They come after you name yourself. So they allow the people to name themselves. You talking about the Office of Management Budget. But I'm asking you. So you call yourself African American too, right? Black African American,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So yeah, you're African American,
I mean, yeah.
right?
I'm not ashamed of it.
Okay. Okay. Cool. You don't see a problem with that word being used as a dual usage for people that's of the U.S. chattel slavery lineage and people that's are immigrants. You don't see an issue with the dual usage of that word.
Yeah, I most definitely see a problem with it.
So therefore you don't have an issue with delineation then?
I never said that I did.
Okay, so do you support delineation?
It depends on how it's being used. Yeah.
Okay, so how would you use it?
In the context of delineation, I'm not gonna say all you guys are wrong when you say certain things, but a lot of things that you say is right. I'm gonna give you an
No,
example.
think about us. Because you said I'm only doing this because you said you got a problem. You see an issue with the dual usage of
Yeah,
African American. You said that. Okay.
yeah.
So how do you go about straightening that out? Because we say delineation, you say what?
I don't have a specific word for it, but yeah, it's more of an action.
Okay. So then what's the action? Describe the action.
Well,
And Dr. Ausar, click back in, man. I was going to get to you. You were quiet, so the Dr.
okay.
Ausar
You asked me a question. You
Winkler had
told me to answer it. I'm trying to answer it.
right, but somebody hopped off. Let them know that we were not skipping past him. I want him to call back in. But go ahead.
Okay, my brain everywhere. What was your question? Could you ask it again?
That's the ADHD. Okay. So you said, how would you describe the actions? You don't have a word for it. You said you have actions on how we should handle that dual usage word African American that's causing all the confusion.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
So what's
so
the action?
the action is more of who's being identified as an African American. So you got
Hey,
Africans
tell us.
coming from the continent. Hold on, could I
Right.
finish?
Hey, guy, go.
I
You're ADD. I know. Go.
Okay, so you got people coming from the continent of Africa that come over here to America, and they identify as African American, or you got people that's
Black.
here already, or quote unquote that has always been here that identify as African American. So that it could be used in a bad way in that sense.
No, I'm asking. What the hell's going on here, bro? Listen. When it comes to people, when you say people said it was already here, you're talking about people who said they were here before slave ships.
Um, I say both. I say both. People that came through chattel
Well, yeah, but
slavery
we're
and
not. No,
and
yeah, brother, you're over the place. Listen, whether you were here before slave ships or you came on slave ships, if those two people experienced U.S. chattel slavery, their origin starts right there. The ethnogenesis is really U.S. chattel slavery. All right, so that's who's FBA. So if people say they were here before slave ships, that's fine. But if they underwent U.S. chattel slavery, that experience, the ethnogenesis, links them up with the term FBA. They're foundational Black American because I'm sure they were put through U.S. chattel slavery. They worked, they built the country, they they live amongst the people who came on slave ships. They probably intermarried, things like that happen, right? So they became one like that, the ethnogenesis like that. So, when we say FBA, or Black American, we're talking about them two people.
okay, I
Okay,
get I get
if they, right. So if they exist, then they
yeah
come under the umbrella of Black American. So
yeah
now that is one group. So now the other group were the immigrants. So now both of these groups are saying they're Black or checking a box or being identified as Black African Americans. One people are the harmed group. All right. The people who went through Jim Crow, slavery, Reconstruction, excluded from HLC, FHA, who experienced overcrowding, who experienced racial zoning laws, who experienced um, restrictive covenants, right? Denied GI Bill, Black veterans, ADC, AFDC, okay, man in the house. Okay, these are these people. And then you got the immigrants that come over here who don't know nothing about that. So, but they're both being called African American. So now, the people who are called FBA, who went through all that, we've never got our compensation for going through all that. We've been excluded, deprived, outright murdered, and things been taken from us, physically taken from us, setting us back,
okay. I get
making us
all that. I get all that. Could I just ask you
okay.
a question
Wait,
now to
no,
get
no,
an
no, no, no.
understanding?
You know that no, but you never answered the question. You said So I'm just
Dude,
giving you.
you asked your question and you just kept rambling.
Okay. Right. So look, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna keep rambling because my show. I'm gonna get you out of here. That's what we're gonna do. The nerve of these guys to tell me that I gotta land my plane. That's what I'm saying. The self entitlement. So now, dog, it's all you now. You can call in, and we can get it. We can see what's in your brain. He was here. He left. Yeah, the dude gonna tell me. First of all, he was the one confused. He's trying to act like there's a difference with people who say they were here before slave ships and the people who say they came on slave ships. They're no different. They both went to U.S. to have slavery. They both went through the same ethnogenesis. They are one with one name, right? They're not called the ones before the slave ships, or they're not called the one with the slave ships. Together, they're called FBA.
Yeah, we merged into one.
Right.
That's
So he tried to make a division talking point, some distinction, some division. No, that's one. Okay. Now, two is the immigrants. So I was explaining why it's important to not have the same name, because we're looking for redress, and we can't have the same name if we're called the same people, because these folks get all of the programs and set asides and monies under Black African American. So now all of a sudden, reparations is passed for Black African Americans. They're gonna say, "Hey, what about us?" And they're gonna say, "Nah, it ain't about y'all. This is the lineage." They're gonna say bullshit, because everything else under these terms wasn't about lineage. Now all of a sudden lineage, and they're gonna file a whole bunch of lawsuits and stall out any reparations checks. So that we're preventing that. This is called prophylaxis. This is called anti-defamation defense, right? We're stopping that now. We're getting the terminology right.
Hey, Ron.
Yep.
Why is it these more? I'm sorry, I ain't gonna use no language. Why is it they saying that we beg for money when we telling them we ain't begging, we telling them give us our money that you owed us.
Can't. Yeah, there's no such thing as working a job for 40 hours and then you don't get paid and you're asking for your money and you're going to court and you're begging for your money, or you own a landscape business, you own a construction company and you do the job, and now you're waiting to get paid and the person runs off and you say, "Hey, I want my money," and they say, "Oh, stop begging for your money." That's not how that works.
Yep. Mm-hmm. They're trying to gaslight us, man, into not get redress, like you said, restitution. Right.
That's not how that works. I'm not going
so many
to do
people,
all your lawn.
they got their robbed, they land stolen. Their land got stolen. That was our people. People got mansions on land that was stolen from us.
Yeah. So that's part of the redress, land, money, and some other stuff is there. But like you said, that gaslighting, they know better. They know it's not nobody begging. Because again, if they're begging, then you're saying the Japanese people were begging. Then you're saying the Italians were begging. Then you're saying Jewish people were begging. Then you're saying the Native Americans are begging. Then you're saying everybody who ever had called for redress, they're just begging. The white man should be able to take your stuff and not ever compensate you. Like now, you talk about white supremacist argument. That's a white supremacist argument, because they're the ones who first were saying stop begging. When we asked for reparations, they were saying that first. Stop begging. You're not getting nothing. Oh well, it's too late. It's too long ago. All these excuses kept happening.
Right, you stole my TV, and I catch you with my TV in your house. Now I can't get my TV back.
Right, because you're begging. Stop begging.
Oh my God.
Right. So when somebody comes snatch your pin off his neck, kick him in the ass and run off with it, don't call the cops. Don't go on social media because you're begging. Again, that's just a weak position to take. Is self-hatred. Is anti-FBA-ish, anti-Black American all day long.
Then you see comments like this. He said, "How do you plan on getting your stuff back from the white man?" That's a fed line of logic, dude. You must be a op, dog.
Okay, look, we're gonna do it the legal way. Okay, that's how we're gonna do that. We're already doing it, right? We're making strides. California was a win for us. we're making strides. Again, these guys gaslight. They want to pretend that we have a 24-second shot clock.
Yeah.
Like I already made this point before. It took 250 years to get free from physical bondage. It took 100 years to get civil rights, and civil rights protected by federal government, right? So it took 100 years for that. So why would this take anything less? Why would this take 2 days? Like we're talking about a race. Wait, let me say this last thing.
And Ron, I want to say one thing.
Wait, hold on. Before you do that,
I'm sorry.
I want to say this. So there was a poll taken sometime in the early 1900s, what I brought up before. They asked white society, how do you feel about reparations for Black people? And like 80-90% said, hell no. They asked this question some time ago, and it was like 60 or 50% of them said yes. So you're talking about from 90% hell no to now 40 to 50% hell no. I think that's making strides. So I think our efforts are winning over people and making people look at it logically and morally, saying, this is a wrong that need to be corrected. So also, we are living in a system of systemic racism, right? So we know that too. So we're not delusional, but what we're not going to do, Afro Think Tank, we're not going to do what you would do in your homeland. We're not just going to sit around and blame the colonizer and just eat fucking mud cakes and cats all day. We're going to still, Biddy Mason took her own slave owners to court at the height of slavery. Now, what's the chances of her winning, right? She still did it, and she won. Now, Dred Scott did it too, the year after that, and he didn't win. But what I'm saying is, what was the chances of them winning their cases? If you look at it from a white supremacy perspective, they would say Biddy Mason had no chance in hell at winning her case. This is a white racist country. It's built on slavery. Why the hell would we let her get a fair trial, right? But she won. She beat the odds. So why would we think? See, we don't have that losing mentality. We don't have that pessimistic mentality where we're not going to try, even though white supremacy is looking like it's a hell no. We don't have that losing spirit where we like, nah, let's not even try. We're going to try anyway. And we're going to try again and try again because they got to make sense of the no. But go ahead and say what you're going to say.
Hey, Ron, I want to say this. On what you said about the percentage of white people saying that we should get our reparation, I think the biggest percentage is because they need to get that shit over with. They owed us so much money, it's ridiculous. It's only 50 million of us? They spend billions. So that means even if you say you in a court case and you want to make a deal, I want to get the less. I want to get the best deal I can. I would just give every Black person $1 million. That's only 50 million. They give people billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. Well, so say they just give us $2 billion a piece. They're scared to do it because they know we'll make $1 billion out of 50 billion. They don't want to give us that money because they know what we're gonna do with it. We hustling.
Yeah, that's true. But they know that we're not gonna look for a $50 million payout alone. Like they know that we're gonna go for the number.
I say about at least 10 million a piece.
Well, maybe that, but what we're saying is like there's a number in mind, and it's not gonna be a one-time payout. It's gonna be some money and some other things that's on the table, and these are the things that's being talked about.
Let me jump in real quick, brothers. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
Yeah. Peace, Ron.
Peace.
Yes,
what's up, my brother? How y'all doing, chat?
Good.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. It's a good day, bro.
SL?
Yes, SL, bro.
Wait. I wanted Dr. Ausar Winkler, who I call Ruxpin, to chime in.
Peace. Dr. Rupskin in the house. Oh man,
what's going on?
I'm good, good brother. I'm good. I'm doing good, man. I'm just sitting here. So let me turn on. Let's see what's going on. As soon as I turn on, I hear you calling me Dr. Rupskin again. I thought you retired that.
Now, I've been calling you Dr. Asardi.
I thought you been, I haven't heard my mouth. I haven't heard my name. I ain't seen nothing in any titles. I said, okay, he giving me some grace. But as soon as I turn on, Dr. Rupskin and the rest of them trying to make money, or something like that off the people. Now, I know, Brother Ron, I've listened to you. I know you can tell a genuine brother, man. I know you know I'm genuine, brother. Whether you disagree with my ideology, ideas, concepts, or what have you, I think you can tell somebody who's genuine about their people.
You know what? I said I like you. I just think you're the wrong side. That's what I said.
So I don't think I'm on the wrong side, but I will say that, yeah, I'm just saying, like, so I'm an agent one day. I'm Teddy Ruffsky. My wife said thank you. She said at least you chose something cute and cuddly. So so I'm just saying, I think this thing is a little bit more nuanced. The reality is I can agree with a lot of things, but I disagree with a lot of things. But and I don't think it's necessary for many of the things that you all say is necessary to get what you call reparations. It's just not.
What? The African American thing?
It's not the African American thing, it's the FBA thing. It's not necessary. And then there's a lot of lies, even the whole idea. It's so many lies. Ron, I know you listen to me, bro. I know you heard I know you listen to me sometimes, brother. So I know when I did the presentation on the whole census and the whole idea of black with your boy, what's his name? Zion, what's his name? Zion Lex. Where he says, is his name, what's his name? Zion Lex? What's the brother name? Lex Vortex. Lex Vortex. Yeah, like the idea that like most Pan-Africanists don't use the word black, like all these fallacious ideas.
No. Okay, I heard y'all misrepresent that argument.
No. I heard Lex Vortex. You may have not said that, but your boy Lex Vortex said that.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he say anything. He says about anything. That's why Unc calls him pseudo. Yeah, he says almost anything. He's a smart brother. He's a smart brother. But he sometimes people so smart that they're a little extra creative with it. Like it's so many, like the idea that there's like how many people told me after listening to shows, or I'm not even sure if it's your show or so many FBA shows, there's no write-in. Like literally, there's no write-in category so that people can distinguish their ethnicity. Huh?
Yeah, nobody could say if that was said, that had to be going back during a time in the 1990s probably. But everybody has seen the write-ins nowadays. But even the write-ins, it's okay, but it's still some confusion there with the term.
It's always going to be confusion, Ron. That's the thing.
They don't have to always be confusion.
Ron, what I'm saying is, it's not as much confusion as you all say it is. That's what my argument is. It's not as much confusion as you say it is. And you don't have to create a whole new term. You can do what you want to do. That's not my
debate. Wait, hold on. Yeah, that's interesting because a whole new term was created in 1989.
Look, I said you don't have to. I didn't say you can't. You heard what I said? You can do what you want to do?
No, but we're not. The new term that was created was African American. All we doing is going back to black. Black was already here in 1960. It was federally
just
recognized
going back to black. Ron, black is still going on. We still call ourselves black. It's on the paperwork.
Now, black is attached to that
It's
new word
always
that you're
black
talking
and
about.
African American, Ron. Is it not?
Yeah, now it wasn't always that.
Ron, it's
That's
black,
new.
black and African American.
This nigga
I,
lying.
it ain't, no, don't
Brother,
disrespect me.
why
But
would you call me a nigga, brother?
Yeah, let's keep it.
All right, bet. I'm gonna mute up, bro.
mature.
This shit is crazy though. I'm gonna mute up.
What's so
Let's
crazy
keep it
about it,
mature.
brother? What's crazy about it?
Don't distract with me. Keep talking with Ron.
No, I'm asking you what's
No, I
crazy
don't want
about
to
it.
talk to you.
Please
Unless
don't.
Ron wants me to talk to you.
Well, Ron, can he talk to me?
I think it's crazy too.
Hmm?
I will. Okay. Well, respectfully, without the name calling, but
Yeah,
go
my bad.
ahead. You want to talk to him? Go ahead. You can talk to him. Just no
Go
name
ahead.
calling.
Let's break it down. Because this is ridiculous. What's ridiculous is I'm gonna break it down for you. You know exactly what Ron is saying. The arguments, the language, the rhetoric has been laid out 1,000 times. Why is there a question about it?
Lay it
Why
out
we
for
have
me. I have no idea what you're saying because I'm being genuine. This what I'm saying is.
Go ahead.
I am not agreeing because I don't agree. Now I'm not disingenuous. That's why I called in. I'm not a pimp. I'm not taking nobody off of their money. I'm not doing none of that. Now maybe you can enlighten me, but there's no you don't even know me. So why would you say that I'm being disingenuous? You didn't use those terms, but that's what you said.
Yeah, I'll break it down. The reason why is because we know that you have heard these arguments 1,000 times, brother.
Which argument? You got to break the argument down. Tell me
All the
argument.
FBA arguments. All of them.
I've
Every last
heard them,
one.
and a lot of them are fallacious.
Okay. So you say it's a lie. Cool. Okay,
No,
check
I
this
said
out.
a lot of them are fallacious.
Yes, a lot of them are lies. That's what you're saying. They're made up. They're exaggerated. Okay, cool. So you know the argument. Why keep asking some of
Which
these
argument
questions?
are you talking about? I'm not
All of
saying
them.
I
Every
disagree
last
with.
one of them.
No. We're talking about a specific argument. Specificity
No, we're
is
not going to
important.
get lost in the minutia.
No. Specificity is
No.
important because listen,
It's not important in this matter.
Chill. What I'm saying to you is that I don't disagree with every argument from FBA. You have to be very specific about what argument you're talking about. Because I'm not one to just cast a net and say FBA is wrong about everything. So you have to talk about it from an argument
You
standpoint.
did that before when you was on Dr. Maat's show.
What did I say? Hold on. What did I say on Dr. Maat's show, brother?
You know what you said, bro.
Well, okay. What did I say on Dr. Maat's show? Hold on. Let me be clear. Let me be clear so you can follow me. What did I say on Dr. Maat's show that cast a net on everything FBA said? Never did it.
Oh my God.
You want to know my main argument with FBA? If you really want to, if anybody listen to me, I have one main core argument with FBA.
Go ahead.
Do you know it?
It's the anti-African sentiment.
No, not at all. That part is there. That part is there. Yes. You know what? Let me say yes, but I frame it in a different way.
All right.
Ron, do you know my argument, Ron?
Well, I was on mute. Well, you made a couple arguments.
My major argument about FBA. I have one major argument about FBA. And you speak to it you spoken to it. My main argument with FBA is specifically that it is an identity category and that it has an ideological component.
Okay. I mean, what's that mean? Give us context on how that's negative.
I didn't say it was negative.
Okay, what's the argument then?
Ron, please tell him my argument. You know it. You know why.
Just said it.
No. I'm saying, Ron, if you could tell him why I'm making that argument and why that brings up issues for many FBA.
So I don't like the argument, and I don't believe it. Brings.
That's what I'm saying.
Issues. And that's what we were kind of getting to just now before the brother said what he said, and
yeah, I apologize. Not
so
What Ron? I've heard. Hold up, was it you? No. But if you listen to other people, though, Ron, you listen to my dear brother, Sincere Love God. He speaks about the ideology all the time. You hear so many other people say there's an ideology, then you hear the others say it's not. Now we understand that all identity are ideologically constructed. Without there being any, there wouldn't be no need for a new identity or reframing without some level of ideological underpinnings or need or necessity or what have you. It's not a bad or good thing. It's just a reality.
Okay, so what's the issue? Why don't you call yourself?
Okay, no. Okay, let me tell you what the issue is. Because maybe you don't know FBA argument. And that's why Ron just said he doesn't agree with it. Because most FBA, a lot of FBA, let me say that, they argue that it doesn't have an ideology. They argue it's just an lineage. They argue that it has no ideology to it. My argument, it does have an ideology.
Well, let me counter with this. Watch this. Are they saying that it doesn't have an ideology? Or are they trying to debunk claims that it is only an ideology? Because people love saying it's a movement, it's an ideology, they love lying on it when everybody's saying it's a lineage. And I will agree with your point. Every lineage has cultural accoutrements attached to it, right? We understand that, which includes ways of thinking, more ways, 4 ways, all that shit, right? Yada, yada, yada. So if that's the case, then why do these people try to pin it solely as an ideology? Oh, you FBA ideology. No, it's a lineage.
No, well, that's not my argument. My argument is that, not that.
Well, I'm saying that's what the people are saying.
Well, I haven't heard too many people say it, but what my argument is that it's an identity, if you want to call it a lineage, is an identity category that I would argue, again, is a subcategory which falls within what you call African American, which is a subgroup, not the 42 million.
That part. So now, are you speaking African American as a racial? You're saying it's a subcategory to the racial term African American?
Nationality.
Kind of like the same thing, because African American is
both. It's both. It's two things. It's both.
Right.
It's both.
Right. Because it gets the American.
But I'm being more specific as a nationality, just for the sake of saying it's an umbrella term.
If I understand what you're saying, even that is like still not a problem, because
I'm not saying any of that is a problem.
Yeah.
I'm not saying any of it, but the problem is part of the ideology where we would diverge is this. Okay. Is that a major part of the ideology is the anti-Pan-Africanism, anti-African sentiment.
Well, let me counter with this.
Wait, hold on.
My bad.
Right. Now, see, that's the part where it gets a little crazy, a little convoluted. So a lot of what you hear, like that's like saying, calling a white man a devil or racist or this and that, these terms we got for white people for what they've done to us and what they continue to do, and our speaking against it, or even having some clapback for them, that's saying, hey, you guys are this party ideology. It's like, well, that wouldn't even be there if these people were not confessing in their own spaces on their own time how they're trained and training their sons and daughters.
Who are those people?
View Africans and non-FBAs. You can say African immigrants and some Caribbean people. Like, we got them saying, Jamaicans, we got Africans saying that their parents, this is the same story, their parents taught them to stay away from Black Americans. They're thugs, they're killers, they're basically degenerate, go around the white spaces. All right. So when they behave like that and they think like that, and then when we hear that.
But Ron.
Okay. Yeah.
Brother Ron.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I struggle when you say that. Because a part of me, I hear you talk. And I know that you have a lot of scruples going on. I mean, you're intellectual. And I know you can, I know that even our own people say the same thing. Don't hang with those people over there. Don't, you know, you may have told your children, don't hang with them. Hang with them.
Wait, it's
who shot
it's
first?
a big difference.
Huh?
Wait, no, hold on. It's a big difference. Hold on. Okay, so what we do in-house is in-house. And we understand why that child is behaving like that. We understand that the mom is on crack or the dad's in prison. Like, we understand, we got some intel on this family. They got no intel on us. They ain't even been to America yet.
Oh, no. Wait, that happens typically when people get here, Ron. Come on, man.
No. Hey, listen.
That's in Africa too.
Yo, listen. Right now, I can share my
Hold
screen.
on. Why would it happen in Africa? Hold on. I'm saying. I mean, I get what you're saying because I've heard. Look, I've worked. I've hired a lot of Nigerian people, right? But hold on, you still about to say something?
Okay, they say they get it from movies and music.
Well, you hear a variety of stories, Ron. Come on, man. Ron, you've been listening to this over the last weeks. You've been listening to different people with different things. But look, listen, the research shows something very different. And that's going to be my next one. I'm going to talk about what the research is around African American, and Caribbean sentiment, intergroup, as they relate to one another. I'm going to break that down. But again, I do get what you're saying. But Ron, I would imagine that you understand that I remember you from way back. I remember you from way back when I used to listen to Uncle them. So I imagine that you would know. I mean, Ron, do you really believe in this system? Do you believe in this system right now, this white man system right now? This is a real genuine question.
That's a disingenuous question.
For real.
This is a real genuine question. I'm asking the brother a genuine question.
Ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
That's a disingenuous
I am asking the brother a genuine brother. How could you categorize? How could you categorize, brother? Why you get triggered so much, brother? I'm asking my dear brother. I'm asking the brother. Why you won't let the brother answer the question, brother? He's a grown man. He can handle. He can say, brother. He can decide whether or not he wants to answer the question.
This is what y'all do.
Do you not want to answer the question
right here? This is why we said you were disingenuous.
Ron,
do you not
want to answer the question?
I want to hear. Wait, let me hear my
Ron doesn't have to answer the question. Ron, I'm really asking you a genuine question, but you don't have to answer it.
Okay, so all right, now clarify the white man system. Like, what is that?
Look, I'll be honest with you, it's like 2:30, right?
Yeah, it's late, but now.
Look, so my
It gotta be 3:30 here.
What time is it? Hold on, let me see what time it is, y'all.
Hey,
it's 2:57, right? So
it's too late.
No, look, I'm not really calling debate, brother. I don't really debate like that, honestly. So look, I take it back. I won't even answer the question. But my whole point of calling in is I think you can tell somebody we can disagree. And I'm not taking anything personal. I'm not. I really like. I mean, I don't mind the Teddy Ruxpin thing. I don't mind that. It's funny how you found.
Yeah, I almost put up my hot chocolate.
It's funny how you found the outfit though. How you find the outfit though, bro? How you get the whole outfit though? How you get the outfit with the same thing I had on the video though? Like.
So wait. I'm not willing to let that go that easy.
Would you not willing to let go?
You were about to ask that man a question about.
I was going because you felt frustrated. You thought I was being disingenuous. I said, let me take it back.
Yeah, because
I'll take it back.
For you. No.
No, I will take it back
because what I'm doing.
I
want you to see something.
What do you want me to see, brother? Who is this? Hold on. Please announce yourself.
I'm Suburban Swerving. They know me.
So who?
Suburban
Swerving. How can I see who you are? Like, how can I follow you?
Got his face on there.
Suburban Swerving.
I'm always on this channel.
No, I'm saying like you have like a IG page or something.
Yeah, I got an IG page.
This is a non sequitur. Just go ahead, bro.
No,
Go ahead.
I'm not debating, brother. Stop with
this is
the
what I'm
debate.
saying right here.
Stop with
This
the
is not a
debate
debate.
rhetoric.
This is not a debate. This ain't even a debate.
I'm talking about him with his non sequiturs and all
because that's what you're doing, brother.
Yeah, and then you're running.
Hold on.
You're running around the ring, bro. You're running
Brother,
around the
it's
ring.
okay.
This
Go
is not
ahead.
even a
Say
debate.
okay.
This
Say
ain't
what
even
you
a
got.
debate.
Say what you got to say, brother. Go ahead.
All right. So now you about to ask that brother. The reason why I said it was disingenuous because you were going to ask that brother how he felt about the system. Ron is not the FBA spokesperson. So just because he might feel a way about a system, that doesn't have nothing to do with
I wasn't asking him to speak for every. I wasn't asking him to speak for every FBA, brother.
But that's what the topic was about. You got an issue with
Hold on. What are you talking
you
about?
got an issue with. Asked you. The brother asked you what the issue with FBA was, and you still haven't answered.
Brother, but that doesn't mean I can't ask him a question specifically to him.
So why not ask the question that was answered? Why do you have to go through all
hold
of
on.
these?
What was the question? Give me the question.
See, now you don't remember the question.
Do you remember the question that you said I didn't answer?
He asked you. He asked you specifically what your issue with FBA was. You still
I already explained my only number one issue with FBA. I explained that, did I not?
What is what?
Brother, Ron heard it.
See?
Essentially saying it's a semantic problem with the anti-African sentiment, which isn't even true because Ron just debunked that. So
why is it that? So now look. So now why is it that every time we talk about anti-African sentiment?
Hold up, brother. Chill out real quick. If you agree with me or not, you said I didn't answer the question. Your dear brother, the other brother with the radio voice, said he actually, with Ron didn't answer it. He answered it because I said it several times with the idea with my
okay. So now
issue with.
You saying two different things.
So now you're saying it's right. So you're saying it's anti-African sentiment. Cool.
I'm not saying anything different, brother. I didn't even say anything.
There's no anti-American sentiment coming
say it again,
from
brother.
the other side. There's no anti-American sentiment coming from the other side.
Hold up. Okay, we can talk about that. That's a problem too. No.
Okay, cool.
I am not unbalanced.
Why are we the ones being held? Why are we the ones being held? Why are we the ones being held accountable?
No. Everybody, if you follow me, I got
hold them accountable for.
Let me tell you something.
Let's get an example of the anti-African sentiments.
Shut up, Dennis. You making me mad. I'm old school in here, and you making me mad.
Who's this Midwestern sounding brother? Who's this?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you who I am. Dennis,
hold on, brother. Did you come in telling me to shut up?
You come? Yes, I am.
What are you? Hold up. What you? An elder? How old is you?
Anti-African stuff. When FBA started pro-Africa, we the one put y'all on the map.
Who is y'all? Brother, I'm you, brother. What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about?
He FBA. He just.
What are you talking about? I'm you. What are you talking about?
That's why I'll try and get some order here.
I'm sorry,
so,
man. He just talking too much stuff.
Yeah. So the thing is, like when you say the system, white man system, or anti-African sentiment, when you leave it like that, it's left to our imagination.
The only reason I stopped because the brother didn't want me to ask you a personal question.
No, okay, but even with the anti-African sentiments, can you give us an example of one of them?
Okay, it's plenty of them, but one is, you know what, brother Ron? Come on, man. You know the Afro-African anti-African sentiments. We all agreed that it is going both ways. We just spoke about it.
I don't believe it's
any shots, the all these headshots, all these extra exaggerated African features, and they ain't us, and none of us look like them. This is how they look. Now you know that there's people in Africa that look just like your cousin. Come on, man.
Wait, now hold on. See now that here's the thing about that. When people say go both ways and things like that, we know that we have people that come in the name of FBA online, and they're not. They're out there starting trouble, starting beefs, and the minute you say click the link, they don't click the link, they just disappear. So even when that's being said, we don't know who that's coming from, and like we ain't gonna like say, hey, that's one of us
I've
without that being
considered that.
confirmed.
I've considered that, but now I don't. I got to be careful when I talk to people because let me say this: some of the most influential people in the movement are very anti-African or have strong anti-African sentiment. Without saying names.
Is it
Give us an
anti-African or
example.
anti-tether?
They're not saying it's not okay. I'll say both because sometimes they just say African. They just say African and definitely anti-Pan-Africans.
Do you know why we're anti-Pan-African for the most part?
Listen. I agree with you, brother. Which one? I think you the brother said I've listened to this. You said I listened to a lot of the commentary, right?
Yeah.
So it's not okay. It's not anything that it's like I've heard the commentary. I don't agree with it. So now let's just know this. It's not just FBA for me, okay?
Okay.
It's anything.
I don't think
It's
you
even
back and forth when they're in our country. Like I don't think that's considered back and forth. When you're in somebody's house, talking trash about them, and then deny that they ain't the reason why you even here.
Yep.
Ron, you got people who say that. Guess what? I wish you could come to my class, right? And talk to these brothers and sisters that I teach at the PhD and master's level.
Oh my God, you teaching our kids? Oh my God.
And who is that? Is that the Midwestern brother?
Yeah, can I get in here for a second?
Hey, brother, hold on. I'm going to go, but I appreciate y'all being entertaining and being respectful. And I just wanted to call in and say, Ron, I just wanted to really say I think Ron could see that I'm a genuine brother. And I there was no charges. And I hardly don't, if you do any 5 minutes of researching me, I'm talking about like just Google and look at the things I do in the community. I don't think it would be so hard for one to come to a conclusion that I'm a genuine brother, even if you disagree with me. I could be totally wrong, and you could still see that I'm genuine.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope.
Hey, you gave Ausar a little more pushback. Like you was giving Ausar way too much of an olive branch, but he was completely wrong. And you even said, hey man, you're gonna need a measuring stick or something because he was just so far biased in his approach, and you were kids gloves with him on that one.
Well, you come on now, Ron. You know that. Hold on. You saw what happened. You even brought it up. You said, "I wait." I mean, my goal is not to debate, right? Like, I don't have to agree. Like you said, I'm not. I'm really trying to have the discussion and have us really come to some agreement. And you're right. There was some space there because I don't typically agree with too many people. Holistically, if that makes sense. But it did get to a point, and I said, nah, brother, whatever. I can't remember what happened, but yeah, around the idea of we don't have culture. And I told him that
confirmation bias all day long.
I told him
remember he said the only people who had culture was Africans and Chinese people. That's it. Nobody else had culture.
I can't remember exactly what he said, but I know
what he said.
But I told him intellectually, because I like to go intellectual. I like having intellectual fun. I can go and understand and try to, and I can go there. But politically, I think that's a grave mistake we're making when we say that. And then you also know that I said FBA are going to have a date with you or something like that. Because it doesn't make sense. It's not the right conversation.
Here's the thing. Like, I also believe you can do on the flip side. I know, we're not crazy. I know, we make some sound arguments. And I think you be seeing like, okay, that makes sense. but had they said it this way, they could go a lot further. I know you have that too in you, and you refuse to do that.
What do refuse to do what?
Like, for example, I know we're not crazy in all of our talking points. There's some things you agree with, and you might say, you know what? I agree with that, but they're probably missing this right here. Or they just had this going on with that. This would be a stronger argument. Like, I know you have that, but you are reluctant. Like, it's just hands off. Like, for you,
My
hands
goal,
off.
my goal, you know I'm a therapist, right?
Okay.
Huh?
Not
I'm gonna
interested.
need one after listening to this. Tell you that.
Well, brother, let me take my number down.
I
Yeah,
got
bro.
you.
I want to know what your PhD in, bro.
Hey, but you know my point, my goal is to heal us. And what I mean is, it's not just this. I have a major issue with infighting between our brothers. I'm talking about here, FBA people. I have and my major thing was that I was going to come out on is this major gender wars that's going on in our community. And there's a correlation between, let me not say correlation. There are similarities between this argument and that argument. Although there's differences. You know, and let's say it's bots and people misrepresenting FBA. I hope that's the case.
It is, and I'll
But
tell
it's
you
so
why.
but it's so pervasive.
I don't
But
It's
see it.
it's
let me jump in real quick because I used to be in the black manosphere. The majority of the black men, quote unquote, black men that talk shit about black women are
Mhm.
not FBA men. I know
Mhm.
this for a fact. I
Mhm.
know this for a fact. There's a bunch of them.
Right.
And that is a part of the issue. Then you have a lot of black women who love white men that are also on that African Caribbean tip. That's where they come from, and they bring that colorism with them. So I'm not saying that FBA is blameless. We have our issues. But the majority of the inflamement of the gender war came from these foreign people. Because notice when it started in the 80s, in the 90s. What happened after that? All the immigrants started coming in.
Well,
I'm
I
not
think,
blaming them all, but go ahead,
but
Pastor.
I think is a bit. I give it a bit of a different etiology,
Okay.
and we know that right before that time, we know that it was the women's movement, and I'm in these institutions with these sisters and that are just in academia in general, and which has trickled down to our society is uh, feminism. And whether we know that we're practicing feminism or not, many of us are. Whether we went to the university or not, and half of them are doing a real poor job because they're learning it through social media. They want to be feminist, but they also want you to pay all their bills, which is not really good feminism. You know, so it's really that I mean the women's right movement, which is a white movement, that black sisters took up, got burned in the process, rebranded as black feminism and womanism and all different factions. Um, where a lot of people have adopted, even brothers. So, so yeah, I mean, and then the brothers, of course, they tie it, and then they become reactionary. And I'm not saying that people don't have the right to feel how they feel, but I just had a sister on my show the other day, and her argument was that women feel like and this goes back to FBA, by the way. They feel like black sisters feel like black men, no, they feel like they're the new white man to the black man. Because the black man is resentful. He envies her, he emulates her, but truly hates her. And then I asked her, I said, so what do you mean by the white man? And what she said was, I believe that the black woman becomes a new system for the black man when he leaves his job. He starts to smoke weed, drink alcohol, play video games, and live off of her. And I said, well, I don't think that's accurate. because I don't think most black men in America feel like they leeching off no white man. Most of us might feel oppressed by the white man or some level or another, but we don't just sit around and think we taking from the white man. We feel like the white man owe us. Hence, we got FBA who's saying, well, got their money.
Mm-hmm.
So now my thing is, we begin to throw more, like we begin to think that, like when we're hurt, I'm talking about sisters and brothers in this case, and I think it does apply to FBA. Whether or not it's the true FBA, it damn sure seems like it's the pervasive element that's out there that might be bots. Because what I have thought about is these MAGA people and whatever happened on Twitter and what was uncovered was bots and people from other countries. So I have considered that. And I'm still considering that. But it's whatever's going on is really exacerbating and exaggerating the reality of these differences. And I'm not saying there's no work that needs to be done. I agree, there needs to be work done. But my concern is, and this is where we will diverge, is that I mean, where I would diverge a bit, maybe not, is that, yeah, we gotta get that together. And yeah, we do need to stand, we do need to, look, I did a whole video coming for Busta Rhymes after he started talking about African Americans don't have culture. You know, so what I'm saying is I understand the ignorance is out there, you know, but I do understand that they're ignorant. I don't I understand.
So let me ask you a question, bro. I get that. I get what you're saying, and I get the need and the want to have unity, for lack of a better term, right? But where does that want and need to have unity intersect with the want and need to make sure that we take care of self first?
I think it's a both and. I think it's a both and. Yes,
what do they tell you? They tell you in the airplane, put the mask on yourself first. Right? As I get older, I'm 42, but as a man, you know, I'm starting to learn that you have to take care. Like, I got to be in good shape. My body got to be right. I got to take care of me so that I can go out here and work and get the money so I can take care of my family. Right? I got to make sure that I'm able to operate at a certain level of vitality.
Yeah, I don't think this is a plane going down, though. I do think we might have some turbulence issues. You don't get the same instructions for turbulence. So I do get the analogy, but I don't agree with the analogy in this case. But I do, what I would like, the analogy that I would use is that many brothers, I'm going to use brothers in this case. Many brothers feel like they got to get their money right before they can actually spend time with their woman. I mean, literally, like, huh?
Hold up. Hey, look, can I jump in here right quick? Then I'm gonna drop down. Can you hear me, brothers?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, so I'm gonna drop down in a minute. I just want to say this right here, okay, bro? Look, I hear what you're saying. I think that you're a PhD, man. I'm 59 years old, and I'm telling you right now, I just got to keep this real with you, with y'all. Man. This stuff right here don't make no sense to me. If you don't understand what FBA is, and I'm from the South, bro, and I've lived in New York, I've been overseas, I've been a lot of places in my life, and there's no way. And I saw Afro-Latinx think tank get on here. I see some things in the chat that's going to FBA. You're being totally disingenuous if you're not watching the onslaught of attacks at FBA across the board.
Yep.
I'm hearing you talking about right now that you're sitting in the college. I done been there. That you're sitting up in the college and you seeing a particular woman talk about that black men are smoking weed and they're the new white man. Come on, man.
That wasn't at the college. That wasn't at the college.
That wasn't at college?
No, that was on my show last week.
Okay, well, on your show. I'm glad it wasn't in college. And by the way, you got a PhD in what now? I just asked, and I'm not trying to make fun of you, bro. I'm not going to go at your stewardship or your scholarship. I just wanted to know what was your PhD in, and then I'm moving past that. That's all. It was just a question. I'm not gonna go into your PhD or nothing about are you smart. I just wanted to know what was your
in the psychological field.
Okay. All right. So this guy Afro think tank, and I think you probably know who he is.
I don't.
All right.
Afro
So this
think
guy,
tank.
yeah. So this guy right here is very upset, and a lot of people is upset right now. Even some of these people in the chat with a wrench probably need to check them out. A lot of these people upset because Tariq Nasheed is in
Senegal,
Africa right now, right? He's over there right now, and a lot of people that's Pan-African taking a whole lot of they think they're taking a shot at Tariq Nasheed, especially Afro-Tank, Stink Tank, and a lot of these people thinking that he's going over there, that he's changed. People don't understand. Look, man, this really is a lineage, bro. I got my mom sitting here. She's 77 years old. I'm looking at a on my phone. My uncle passed in 1928. I'm looking at his obituary. Now, my grandmother was born in 1900. Okay, never said nothing about Africa. Never said we was African. Never talked about Africa. Never was thinking about anything about Africa. But for some reason, my scholarship don't matter, do it? So I need to go to school for that. Do I need to go get a degree? Do I need to go get a degree in Afro-American studies to discuss about what my grandmother told me or her mother told her? So we not into the 1800s.
What is the point you're making though?
I know, because see, we be saying that same thing when you talk.
No, I'm saying, I mean, you can ask that question.
But wait, you're gonna be fine because I'm gonna drop. Because like I said, see, a lot of people in this chat understand me, but when they hearing you, it sound like straight babble. It sound like you're trying to you're filibustering. You're talking about, but really it's coming from FBA. You think we don't hear that? Then you trying to double back.
Say it again.
Wait, because you're gonna get opportunity.
No. I want to make sure I heard you,
bro. Wait, you talked a long time. You're gonna get an opportunity, and like I said, you double.
They asked me. They were asking me questions. They were asking me.
But just let me finish. It's double speak. It's double speak. And what it is, you convoluting almost everything you say, because that's really that convoluting talk and that stuff that you're saying, man. Look here, man. I ain't no way. It's no way in the world I would be listening to somebody like you and sit up there and listen 5 minutes.
Why are you so angry? What are you angry, brother?
It doesn't make any sense. And I'm gonna tell you like this right here. I'm 59 years old. I've been all over this world. I'll put my expertise. Now, maybe not my speaking, but like I said, I got a hell of a lot of awards.
Why are we credentialing here?
Why you just can't be quiet?
See,
if one thing you could do,
why are we credentialing? I never said I had a degree.
You ask some students to do, you can't do.
Say it again.
See, that's the problem. You sitting up in a college and you constantly trying to talk. So you don't want to talk. You don't want to just listen.
No, I'm saying why are we credentialing here? I'm asking you a question.
It's impossible for you to listen. You can't do it.
It's
okay. I'll drop, bro. I'll drop because I knew this right here wasn't gonna work.
Order here.
But me,
right?
Me sitting there listening to him.
I mean, why did I upset you so much,
let's try to get a let's work
so much, brother?
Towards it's convoluted,
conversation.
Brother, the only thing I was sharing is that I was giving an analogy of why I would my perspective. You don't have to agree with it. My perspective is I would like to see us resolve our issues. I'm not saying the issues don't exist.
No, I think that's what we're doing, even with the
delineation.
We're getting on code because this is the first time. You said Lex earlier, right? Lex Sanchez came over here. Now these are people who I would probably never normally talk to or share a space with. Okay, but I'm able to drop differences, right? And even like at work, there's a woman that's into women. Like normally, I'm past. I'm not even talking to her. But now I'm like, you know what? I'm seeing the bigger picture now. So I'm talking to them. So I feel like this is definitely doing that. And even within those red pill spaces, where that was big at one point, I think people are coming out of that because they're looking at the women who they talking to like that as their sisters, as their lineage. So I think that this is solving a lot of those problems.
It is. I can tell you, I can attest to that right now because, like I said, I've been in the red pill spaces. The majority of the men who are putting down the hate black women stuff, are FBA men who are involved in this delineation political process. Everybody else is a tether or a nerd. That's it. So, to kind of go back at the brother's point.
Like a Myron Gaines?
Yeah, Myron Gaines. He a tether nerd. There you go. But so like to go back to the brother's point, the healthcare brother, the psychiatrist, bro, who put this stuff in our community? You said white women. Well, who let them in the door? It wasn't Keisha, quote unquote. It was Caribbean women. And you can see this back in the day. Caribbean communist women let those people in. That's what happened. There's ample documentation of this.
Well, I don't understand exactly what you're saying. I'm not refuting it, but I don't know if it's that easy. I would need some type of sources and some how I'm saying how you're quantifying that as well. But I like to see that, and I'm not really again here to debate. I'm just stating my point. I'm going to land my plane. I'm sorry, my dear brother, that I frustrated you because I'm talking the way I talk. Pardon me, but I appreciate y'all again. I was going rock and roll a little earlier. I do appreciate y'all entertaining me. I appreciate the space and the grace. And
wait, before you hop off, I want to talk to that Marcus Garvey guy. I know he was romanticizing like a mug. I want to talk to him, and I promise you, I would be. I just need 10 to 15 minutes. That's it, because I got like 3 questions that that's it. Three.
So
three
why
or
you
4
ain't call
questions.
in?
Nah, I was
Why you hit
probably
the
if I
link?
didn't call in. No, if I didn't hit the link, I was probably doing something because I do call in Sonetta everybody all the time. So if I was probably watching, doing something else because I have a 4-year-old, so I can't just, I gotta
Well,
he's knocked out right now.
I'll get him back on some kind of way, and maybe I'll tell him you want to have a talk with him.
It's just 4 questions. That's it.
Pardon?
Just 4 questions. That's it.
Oh, 4 questions. Oh, okay, 4 questions can be a nice discussion, though.
Well, yeah, but that depends how far he goes with it. I'm just gonna ask some things about Garvey. Hey, is this true? That's it. Or why did he do this? And, if he takes that, if the answer is long-winded, then that's on him. But the question can be very, to the point.
Okay.
Now, if you say something that's not historically true, of course, but I won't go back and forth too much. I'll say this and then I'll let that go. Then my next question.
Hey, brother Ron, I don't know what you see. You got everybody over here thinking I'm some huckster, man. Look, man. Look, man. But I get it though. I mean, I say, you can't. People gonna believe what they want to believe, but
Well,
just Google.
Real quick. I wanna like when you was asking that question, the reason why I was saying it was disingenuous, I wasn't trying to jump on you or nothing like that, bro. But sometimes when we having these conversations and when you see something, you gotta deal with it right then and there because it'll get washed up. It'll get looked over. It'll get lost in the hoopla. So a lot of times we want to, just deal with it. But I want to ask you one more question before you go. And really, this is the main point for me, and why this shit becomes so frustrating. Does a people, a lineage of people in their own country have a right to distinguish themselves from everyone else?
Oh, is that the question?
That's the question.
You know what? I was really imagining. You said, do a people in their country have the right to distinguish themselves?
Right.
I would say, I would answer it directly and say yes.
Okay. So why does anybody have an issue with this FBA thing?
I don't think, see, the problem has nothing to do with that aspect. And it might
that's
be.
That's the only aspect.
No. We've all agreed that there's an element out here that might be misrepresenting FBA.
I don't see, that's the thing. None of that has anything to do with it.
No. You got to understand though, when people, if they are the loudest voice in the room, people begin to believe that is what.
So are all Pan-Africans in agreement about Pan-African theories and ideologies?
No, listen what I'm saying. Just like right now, right? Umar Johnson is the loudest voice, a major loud voice, right? And he calls himself a Pan-Africanist. So he's only one person, but he has a big microphone. And that's pretty much a lot of people's introduction. I'm talking about not you all. I'm talking about a lot of other people's introduction to Pan-Africanism. So they begin to believe that Umar Johnson represents, and this is what Pan-Africanism is. So if there's bots out here, right, and they're and whatever, if the government is infiltrating the movement with these fake people saying all types of crazy stuff, it will have us believing that this is what FBA is.
Okay,
cool. I'm just hypothetically, if that's the case, right? If we can all agree that that's happening, then you could see why the people don't have a problem with it. Most people, if you listen to them, they won't say. Now I have a difference of opinion about whether or not FBA is needed, or if we already had our ethnogenesis. I've done presentation on that. But I'm going to go with your argument, and I'm going to say, no, people don't have a problem with that. They have a problem with the other stuff.
Okay, cool. So we already come to the conclusion that you say that if it is bots coming from the FBA side, what's coming from the other side?
No, not bots coming from the FBA side. Let me be clear. I'm saying if people are misrepresenting FBA with bots.
Okay, we can say that.
So
people also misrepresenting from the other side?
Yeah, you know what? It could be so. You got what I'm trying to say?
But we've actually heard,
bro.
Huh?
Right, we've actually heard from these people's mouths.
No, but we've actually heard from people FBA too. It might not be you, but we've also heard people from their minds, and we already know that African Americans or foundational Black Americans also have these negative feelings about Africans, and Africans have the same negative feelings. But it's not the majority.
Yeah, you got a blind spot. You definitely got a blind spot for FBA because it's no. Listen, I'm listening to you. That's what I'm saying.
What's the blind spot?
I'm sitting here listening to you.
Let him break it down.
You constantly circle back around to FBA. It's almost like you can't say Pan-Africanism. And look,
hold on.
only thing
I did say both sides. The brother just said both sides.
But you put the onus on FBA.
No, I literally said both sides, brothers. And I didn't say Pan-Africanism. Why would I say Pan-Africanism?
And I'm getting ready to go into your example. Your example was what was the Prince of Pan-Africanism. Look, FBA sees.
Oh yeah, I did use Pan-Africanism. Matter of fact, I did.
But see, FBA sees through Dr. Umar. We make jokes about him. Almost all of us. But y'all can't see. But look, but see, you can't see through a bot. What I'm saying right now, listen, man. Look here. What I'm saying right now.
Are you the same brother from down south that's 59 years of age?
I'm listening to you.
Hold on. I'm asking you a question, bro.
I'm listening to you.
Bro. You've been coming real strong, bro. What I'm saying is, you don't need to come that damn strong with me, man.
I'm not the argument.
This is a red herring.
Listen. Nah, but it is. Listen, what I'm saying is, like, this is why I don't really have too many people. When I get somebody guests, I don't have, because they get sloppy, and then we become like other panels, other channels that doesn't work. When you look at the other channels,
Brother Ron,
they got no views
I'm
because
giving him grace, man. But he
talking.
don't need to come that strong. He don't need to keep coming at me. I'm not arguing with that brother. He can talk. He can tone it down just a little bit. I'm not coming at him like that.
Man, look here. I'm gonna say this right here, and like I said, I'll go. I'm still gonna stand on what I'm saying. Bottom
I
line.
asked you a question. Is this the 59-year-old
Bottom,
brother from down south? That's
bottom
all I
line.
was
Yes,
asking you.
yes. And
Okay.
bottom line again. I look here. I've been on this earth long enough. I know what I'm listening to. I know what I'm doing, and I know I got plenty of credentials. I don't need to talk about them.
Brother, why are you caught up on credentials, brother? You seem
But
traumatized
what
by
I'm hearing,
credentials.
I see yours. See how you keep talking, but you got yours all on. Yours is on the screen. But what I'm saying, bottom line is, what I hear from you
Mine
is
was on the screen because I teach a class on Zoom.
Exactly. And if I was sitting up in that class, I would probably walk out. Because everything that I do, and I've been sitting up in college. I know professors. I know professors. I know presidents of colleges, but I don't have to daggone bring up my credentials. I'm just being a regular guy. You know what I'm saying?
You've been bringing up credentials since you've been talking. As soon as you come, I'm 59. I know this. I know that.
59 ain't no credential.
Brother, that is a credential.
59 ain't no credential.
You are saying I'm older. You are stating your age. I've been on this earth longer.
Why you
all
talking
this
while
type
I'm
of thing.
talking? Why you talking while I'm talking?
Because you, brother, I don't know what you have. You must have a problem.
See, you the one
you have some
filibustering.
type of issue with
You
me
the
that
one
you trying to figure out a
You the
problem why
one
I'm the
filibustering.
disingenuous brother. Look, you got to keep in mind you the one calling me disingenuous.
You're feeling and I was trying to
But
make
have
the
I
example.
called? Have I said anything about you being disingenuous? Have I said anything about you? Why do I have to keep being disingenuous if I disagree?
I made the example,
brother,
but
brother, you have a
why
problem
you keep
with
talking?
credentials,
I'm still trying
brother.
to make the example. See, you the one that's, if you listen to yourself after this, you're gonna hear yourself crashing out.
I hear you, brother. I hear you, brother. I understand you got a problem with people with credentials.
Why you still talking,
brother? Because I can, brother.
Are you gonna let me finish,
brother?
You know what I'm saying? You literally filibustering,
brother.
You literally filibustering.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
You have a blind spot for FBA.
What is the blind spot? Say
you
it.
Have a blind. Listen, just like I said,
brother,
it's plenty of people
articulate it then, brother.
Right. Articulate.
Can you say it?
Look here.
Brother, you can't get words out.
I just made the example.
Brother, you can't. Can you complete a sentence without trying to attack me, brother?
I made the example.
Brother, you made no example, brother.
When I mentioned,
the only thing I hear is you're 59 years of age, and you've been this, and you know this, and I'm filibustering and all this old craziness, man.
And rambling,
man, look, man.
And bottom line is, you want all the respect to babble.
Brother, I understand. Brother, I understand that you can't understand me. Brother, I can't help that your intellect can't keep up.
Yeah, your intellect, psychology.
No, I said your intellect,
junk
brother,
science.
or the lack thereof.
Your junk science.
Okay, brother, I knew you was a pseudo.
Junk science.
Because
it ain't real. That Pan-African stuff you're talking about, that's why you're going back and forth. That's why we sick of that stuff. That's why we delineate.
Brother, you angry, brother. You angry, brother.
It doesn't make any
sense. Brother.
You the angry one.
You angry, brother. You've been trying to beat me up since I've been on here, man. I'm 59 years old.
About Umar Johnson. But look here.
I agree with you about Umar. What's the problem?
We see through Umar.
Man,
we see through Umar Johnson.
Do you think I can't see through Umar?
You can't see through these bots because Pan-Africans can't see through them because they always caping for Africa.
Brother, I'm sorry you heard.
Only thing you're doing is sitting up here talking about FBA. You keep circling around,
I'm sorry somebody hurt you, brother.
Yeah, whatever, man. You ain't hurt my feelings.
Brother, somebody hurt you somewhere, man, and it's not me, brother.
You the one hurt.
Somebody hurt you, brother, and it's not me.
Dude, you running your mouth about
brother.
Nothing.
I must remind you of him. Do I remind you of him? Do I remind you of him? What did he do to you,
bro?
What did he do to you,
right here?
Brother, what did he do to you that you 59 years old and you got to keep saying your name? Do you feel like a man? Do you have to tell me your age every time and talk about somebody's credentials who never brought their credentials up? Brother.
Bet this right here. When you got on, listen, when you got on, there was two dudes on here that Ron let on here. They were saying the same thing about you I was saying from the beginning.
Brother, it doesn't matter.
You don't.
You are
I
the
know
one,
you
though.
don't. I know you don't. Both of them said you was talking crap. That's why they jumped on here.
You know people. You know what happened, right? People hang together. You know, like minds hang together.
Yeah, I know. See, that's where you really at.
Like
That's where
mine's
you
hang
really at.
together, brother.
That's where you
I
really at.
can't help that.
That's
I
where
can't
you
help,
really at.
brother. I can't help that babble
That's
to
where you
you.
really
It's
at.
just words that you don't understand.
Yeah. I guess they didn't understand either because they had to stop you. But they were
Bro,
trying to
but
be
well,
nice to you.
they hang
They were just trying
together.
to listen to that tether
These,
babble. That stuff is
brother,
crap.
why you been the most aggressive out of all the people on this platform, brother?
I don't see a problem with it.
Well, you don't see a problem with what?
I don't see a problem with him being passionate. He's passionate.
Well, okay, well, let me be passionate too. That's fine.
Go ahead. You are. You already
all right,
are.
that's cool. All right, that's
you
cool.
already are, bro. Both of y'all been passionate.
Okay, that's great then. You agree.
Yeah, y'all get no, man, come on now. But
I'm just saying, he gonna get it back if he bring it like that.
yeah, but I understand why you feel, because you don't understand, bro, how many tethers have come up here speaking the same type of misdirection that you just did, my brother.
All right, dear brothers. I appreciate y'all again. I tried to get off a few times, man. But look, but down south, brother. I appreciate that. I appreciate the time, brother. And hopefully we can, we still brothers.
Without
Peace.
a doubt.
Take care, y'all.
But brothers fight.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Brothers fight. All right. So this is back.
Good because
wait, hold on. I'm moving on. Wait, hold on. I'm moving. I don't bring that up. I'm moving on, bro. Okay. Yeah. I got it out. I stayed out of it. Okay. I let y'all just go ahead and spar it out. Okay.
Cool.
So I want to get back to something. So let's say, you know what? As y'all was getting it out, I said, let me look at this guy channel where he was talking. So I noticed. Look at this.
Mm-hmm.
This is 3 years ago, right? And you look right here. Look at the views when you talk about FBA.
Yeah.
And look at the views when you talk about nobody else.
Yep.
Okay. Then check this out. So now, keep in mind, you want to talk about a grift? Look, once he did this right here, 3 years ago. Once he did that, look at this. Once he's seen that, he stayed right there. He talked about Tommy. So he started trolling. Now, all of his content before then was about this, loving Africa. Once you got a taste of that FBA views, bro, look, now he's gonna debunk it. Dan Cali, none of his stuff was about this.
Yep.
And then everything else, I think about right over here. Here we go. FBA quote. Look, 1.1. Okay, so now you seen now look at everything else. Look at everything else. 265, 378. Look at this. When he ain't talking about FBA, look at the views.
Yep.
Or some controversy type stuff. But all that African stuff you want to talk about, right there. 175. Now look, 179. Now look, I'm gonna bring you to the tippy top. You want to talk about a grifter? He literally left Africa to talk about FBAs. Look, this ain't 3 years ago, right? I'm gonna bring you up to 6 years ago. Okay. Well, 5 years. Let's see. All right. So now, believe me, all these videos are African. 7 years ago. All right. Look, he want people to pay for this garbage. Look, 7 years ago, the black woman's guy, he tried to make you pay for that. The black man, look, there's always some pay stuff, right? I ain't got no paid video teaching kids how to play Simon Says in Nigeria. How that work? You dig? Teaching kids how to. You kid like Simon Says. Look, this man. Look, everything is members only. Look at this stuff. He's in Africa. He's probably homeless in Africa. I don't know what's going on. But now look on the road. He's in Nigeria. Look, 241, 230. Family, just look at the views. Nothing go past 200, 188. 170. He got fetching water from well. Okay, so he got an outlier here, but everything else is garbage. He's playing with chickens. 226. They all eating mud cakes. Look at this. 391.
Exactly.
Okay. So now look how it feels to be African American Nigeria. He gets some views, but every African American look nobody's. Oh, he got 23K here.
Is this nigga half Korean?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, look at the views. Nothing. And every so often he'll get a big one. But but if you look at okay, so he got some views right here, then go right back down to nothing burger. So he'll get like some rattling bones, then go right back down to look 127. So this guy felt like he wasted his life on the internet trying to big up Nigeria. Nobody's watching it. 190, 122. So the first break he got, he left Africa behind. Everything's Africa, Africa. Look, he trying to get a passport. He just sneak into America. He got some Chinese people. Look, I knew this. I knew he was somebody with 12 musty wives. I knew that. Okay.
Man,
So look,
that shit right there is
163.
wild.
The every so often he'll get a bit. Well, this ain't even his. But for the most part, you see that his YouTube career is down the drain.
Yeah.
324, 168. You did nothing. Nobody's checking for this guy. His name ain't buzzing at all. And look, 5 years ago, nothing. I could just scroll down quickly. Nothing. 33. Look, a conference, Pan-African conference. They got to go to that. Everything is about teaching Africans, playing with the future in his shop. Ekiti, Nigeria. Now, you know, all these boys just want some money.
Yeah. I think
And
he's a
you got
Chinese
a cat.
Nigerian, bro. Not gonna lie to you.
Mm.
A Chinese
Wow, you know that?
Pan-African.
Damn.
Nigga got a pig farm. Go all the way to Nigeria to eat
Yeah.
pigs and catfish. Get out of here, man.
Yeah.
That's backwards as hell, ain't it?
Yeah, my man said enjoy the walk with some kids to go fetch water. Yo, why the hell would I be looking for this malaria water? Like parasites all in there. What's that shit? Chlorella
Bro.
that took out the damn Rwandians. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Look at this stuff. And he's trying to convince you this is where you should go. So say this is how he make his money.
Yeah,
Look
it's
at
a
this.
grip,
He is
bro.
family. This is worshiping Africans at its finest. Like he just see these people are just, oh my God, they're so godly. Oh my God, these are real black people. Oh my God. Only if Negroes in America could be like this. Look at this. Now, if these kids had money, bro, you're taking it like he's no different than a white missionary. Yeah, when they believe you got money and resources, yeah, they're gonna crowd around you and give you some attention. But once they realize you broke,
I'm about to say it's like
that's
that everywhere,
gone.
Ron. It's like that here. You got some paper, you gonna have plenty of people around you.
Telling you, Pan-African Bohemian traveling around with a backpack, man, through the jungle. Look at this dude, man.
How unity is destroyed by division. What are you talking about? Do I even watch that, bro?
This is the cat that was in the chat earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's talking heavy too, boy.
What is
Yeah,
African
I
American
seen it.
culture? Yeah, we got questions for you, my guy. What is this
Like,
garbage?
is
But
your
he would hit
The
the
grandmother?
chat.
populations.
He would hit that link.
I got a question. Is his
Yeah, because
grandma from Xi'an province, China? That's what I gotta ask. He look real strange, man. Like, he ain't
yeah.
a
This is a normal African look, right?
yeah. He's not an African American. He's a Chinese African born in America. That's what he is. I
Now
don't.
look at this guy. He says hundreds of school children abducted in Nigeria. Now forget, there's no white man in Nigeria. So who the
Mm-hmm.
hell's abducting all these kids? These are the Nigerians. Now look, is he putting together some type of coalition to
Nope.
go confront those insurgents? No, hell no.
No, that they
Hell
over
no.
here talking about us calling ourselves what the damn name we gave ourselves. Go find these damn kids, man.
Telling you,
Like, this
trying to
shit is
sell,
crazy, bro.
for real, trying to sell us Pan-Africanism, and you don't
Look
sell
here,
it to the African.
black parents need to create a African curriculum for their kids at home. Why?
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah.
How to cook bushmeat? You do it like this, and put that down. Like, nah.
What do
Yeah,
African
come on,
Americans
dude.
know about Africans?
Yeah, nothing. Okay,
Yeah.
keep it that way. And that's not bad. That's why I'm trying to get the doctor to like. That's why I wanted to ask him some questions and hold him to it because he's saying the white
Nah,
system.
he's slippery though. Pause. Because
Nah,
he don't
yeah, but
he bounces on. Yeah, I mean he
I
shifty.
got you.
Like,
But you ask a straight up question like if he doesn't answer, he just didn't answer. But that's something to look at later.
No, I got you.
yeah,
My
We don't
bad.
if we don't get a chance to you know, we probably won't get another chance. But so I asked him. I said, when you say we are bashing or got anti-African sentiments, give us one. He couldn't name one.
Yep.
There's so many. Well, give us one because I could give you one. I gave you a few that they said about us, and I got more. Okay. So, but he couldn't give us one. But you let him off the hook. And then I was going to speak to what I was trying to get at. Guys, kind of, I ain't mind because I'm not thirsty like that. That's why I didn't mind. But what I wanted to do was, he said FBA is new. I said no, African American is new, right? He sidestepped. I said no, we were black before African American. We just getting black back, right? That's what I said to him. We just getting black back. We're not doing nothing new. We're getting black back, and we're protecting it with clothing. It's called foundational and American because we were just black. But yeah, federally recognized 1970 for 30 years we were black. And then Jesse Jackson said, hey, man, the hell with us black stuff. You African American all of a sudden. That's new. And the way the whole way they did it was new. And none of them like to address that. Like that was never a grassroots movement. It was, I said so, got white people backing me. The same system he talked about, do I trust in? Well, shit, y'all do, because we would never be called African American without the white system.
Yep.
That had little to no pushback when they introduced. Now, look, these are white people out there. This is during I think the Reagan administration. Big, or I think it was Bush. It was a Bush administration. I think it was senior. So they introduced it. Nobody opposed it, and it was we became African American in 1 year. And I showed y'all the videos. I showed y'all the roundtable discussion in 1989 when those Black Americans were cooking Kwame Ture. He was saying all that stupidness. And then I showed you the dude last night in Islam, Muslim debating debating Black over African American. Like no, the average Foundation Black American were arguing to remain being called Black. We did not want to be called African. So I showed y'all the resistance, like people in real time. And then I got Deborah Dickerson saying, Obama's not Black. I got DJ Focus Dad in 2007 saying Obama ain't Black. So nothing but resistance from us. Like, nah, we ain't African American and they ain't Black. We were doing that way before NADOS and FBA. And that's what I was trying to explain to the brother. Like, listen, bro, historically wise, we're not doing nothing different with the FBA thing. You had so many conventions in 1880s, the color convention. You had so many conventions where everything was about what do we call ourselves, what type of land we need, and citizenship, equal rights. That's what we were. That's all those even though they're called the Free African Society, this is where they get you at. They'll go find a name of an organization and see African there and try to pin that to Pan-Africanism. But when you look at what they talked about, equal rights, land, justice, or what they're gonna call themselves. That's all they debated. Nobody was talking about Africa at all. Even with the African name, they were talking about FBA stuff. And matter of fact, with the African name, they still didn't call themselves African. Now, somebody in the chat said Jesse Jackson didn't create the term African American. He just coined it. So I asked him, I said, well, who created it? Who created African American? Because like that's like a double-edged sword trap for anybody who dare to answer that. Who created African American? Now they could run to some memo. I know they're gonna go 1790 type stuff. I already it's like a rhetorical question, but it's a setup question. It's a setup for the knockout. Because any attempt to answer that, there's a follow-up question that just kind of did the whole thing. But the African American thing won't work. So, but nobody was calling themselves African on a day-to-day basis. Like, hey, what's up, African brother? That was not happening. African organizations, but they still call themselves Negroes and colors.
Yep. Hell, even with the American Colonization Society sponsored thing they did with the ministers, they asked them people, do you want to go back to Africa to kind of settle Liberia? The nigga said no. They said, hell no. The whole house said no. So we've always been on this.
Right. The ACS was because here's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Average Black American couldn't even sponsor their own, like even if they wanted to go, they didn't
Yeah,
have the funds to go.
exactly.
So they had to go to the racist ACS organization to get over there, and they had their own nefarious reasons why they wanted you over there.
Yep.
You feel me? And then like even after emancipation Emancipation Proclamation, some FBA still fell. Even the ACS broke up as a white supremacist organization. Black folks took it over, and they were still like, after they got freedom, they still trying to find themselves in Africa somewhere in Liberia, and some of them went over there, and they're known as Liberians today. And how's that working out for them?
Yep. Fight
Donald
monkeys.
Trump didn't even know they spoke English. He didn't even know they spoke English. He said, "Wow,
That's
your
funny.
English is great. Where you learn that from?" They like, "That's the standard language." Remember when we came here from America?
That's funny. Yeah,
How funny is that?
that's funny.
Yeah, but he was confused. He's like, "Yo, why these Africans speaking English?"
And
Like
long
that.
visited. My buddy, my nigga.
They've been fighting ever since they went over there too.
Yep. And so yeah, that's why I'm
Yeah.
glad y'all brothers are standing on business, man. I'm finna bounce, but I appreciate all y'all elders, man, for standing on business. As a young cat, I really look up to y'all for doing it, bro. So shout out to y'all, man.
So yes, sir, man. We try to stand on business, and we invite them all over. So I'm glad that Dr. Dr. Ausar Winkler hopped on, because that destroyed African think tank, and it showed how much of a coward he was, because he was acting like, I won't bless you with my presence. But we got a whole PhD hop on. You dig? Somebody who's familiar with the talking points, who got rebuttals and make videos. So if damn Afro think tank, you can't be more scarier than him. You dig? Who do you think you are? You dig? So if a PhD could call in, you certainly could call in. But
Ron,
the
I think you
dude
got
has some
one in.
corn.
I think you got one in the chat. You might want to ask to pull up. Christ is black man. Well, he
What
got a
they
lot
say?
of stuff. Man, he's saying a lot of stuff. He's saying stuff like let me see. Christ is black man attacking let me see. Yet Oprah don't have a PhD in me and still listen to her. He's just saying a lot of stuff. If you go back and look at what he's saying, I mean, I'd love for him to get on here and explain some of this stuff he's saying. And he has a wrench. He's been saying some tough stuff
What's his
against
name?
FBA. His name is Christ is a black man.
I don't see his name at all. He must got me blocked. I see it.
Yeah. If you just go back and read the
I
stuff he's saying, he definitely need to hit that link.
and don't have. Trying to see. I don't see nothing he said that's bad.
You got to go back. Cynthia G advocated aborting black boys. She is FBA, and I know you discussed that before.
This is a black man. It look like he want to smoke with you.
Well, nah, he did that because I was talking, but I'm saying he been doing that the whole time. He don't want to smoke with me. He just rapping because he don't know. My mother lived with me because she got cancer, y'all. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't want to tell y'all, but she lived with me. My mom got cancer in 3 places, so she been staying with me the last like 4 months. So I got her, but see, he don't know that. But but that ain't what I was gonna talk about. But what he's doing is he is saying some wild stuff about FBI. I think he's just on the other side of it. But you might not see some of that stuff he's saying. But yeah, he was saying some wild stuff. But about me, I just didn't want to bring up my mom's about it. Because like I said, I talked to her. I'm glad she's still here.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't have to bring up your mom on the internet. Yeah. I wouldn't do that. Yeah, so Ty Carter, a guy like there's people like Afro Think Tank and Sarah Suit Seti who I go back and forth and try to figure out which one of them are the biggest coward of the year. Okay, Afro Think Tank and Sarah Suit Seti. The reason why I say that, because these guys wolf the most on the internet, and you never see them invite nobody up ever.
Right.
Like
Ever.
challenge them. Yeah, so I already know he's not clicking that link. So Sassoon said and he's so much of a coward. He'll debate you like you be in the chat typing, and he'll debate you with the, with the microphone. We're like, yo, how I'm gonna win this? Like, yo, how I'm gonna win this one? And he be like, forget you. I just cooked you. It's like, dude, you got the voice. Everybody just typing. Yeah, but him and people like Afro think I don't know who a bigger coward. Like these guys are afraid of all opposition.
Yeah.
And that's sad. It's just a conversation. Like you either believe what you're saying or you don't. So he's talking about reparations. Say, dude, we're not even talking about reparations. We're talking about delineation. You got the wrong Asian. Okay, we're talking about reparations sometimes, but most of our talking points, we want to, in 2026, we want to keep it at delineation because I noticed a pattern with these guys. They think what they do is they go to the soft spots. So once they realize that I'm not one of them people that say I was always here, that African ancestry, then they know they can't go there with me, right? So then they'll go to the reparations thing with me. They'll think that's a soft spot. But people who believe that they were here before slave ships, they're gonna go there on you immediately because they think that's your weak spot. So they like to talk about what they think is your weak spot.
Right.
But no, don't fall for that. Don't fall. You have them talk to even if you think you can defend yourself, but look how long it's going to take. It's going to be an hour, 2 hours. And when I hear these discussions, they be 2 hour, 3 hour discussions. Like, damn man, I ain't trying to debate that long. You dig? Here, let's talk about our strong points. So anybody that argue that they were here before slave ships, I wouldn't let them get that off on you no more. That don't have them. No. That's none of their business, and you had them talk about delineation only, or you're not interested. Why? Listen, why let them talk to what they believe is their strong point? Because they believe their weak point is delineation. That's why nobody likes to talk about it.
So
They'll talk about Tariq, everything else. Go ahead. What was
I
that?
heard somebody. It wasn't me. I heard somebody was trying to talk in. I heard somebody was talking.
How long do you plan on staying up?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'll be up for a little while. What's happening, bro? What you need from me?
Like, I'm about to log off unless you want to take over. But I didn't want you to log off. I'm live and it's a dead. I'm just live and nobody's talking.
Right. Well, I was just gonna say, I just say something. You know what I'm saying, and we can get off. You know, we gonna keep on, pushing with this delineation. We're gonna keep on supporting our families that are on here, that are all over all of our platforms, bro. And like I said, I always want to thank you. Everybody keep on hitting them like buttons, supporting our family, because I believe that the doctor was a little bit disingenuous about only hearing stuff about FBA. Seemed like he kept circling around to try to make us be like the scapegoat for the problems. And I know you more of an academia, but I just was listening to it for so long. I was like, man, this is no, absolutely not. But hey, I think we got enough on tape from him to understand where he was going. Because just like I said, the two brothers that you had on prior to me, they were saying that to him. And he just was going right past it, right past it. So, if he don't see it, maybe he should just listen to himself, because a lot of times we have these instructors, these teachers, these professors and things of that nature, and you listening to them talk. I mean, sometimes, man, they're not right either. I've listened to professors too, and they're not right. But some of them have this tenure, some of them can't be fired and thing. But I know he's a psychologist, so that's more of a type of a science too, And I didn't, I wasn't trying to really like just disrespect what he's doing. But my goodness, if you're not, if you're not professional or you're not have this FBA thing down, I mean, I think I'm pretty good at it. All I have to do is talk about my life. I don't need to read a book. That's what I'm saying. I don't really need to read books. I've read them before, but like I said, I got a long lineage in this country. Hella long. So I'm not concerned about putting my lineage up against anybody, but I'm not in competition. I'm not in competition with him either. But I understand what this fight is all about. You know, I just think a lot of people are trying to help anybody but us. Anybody but us. And that's not gonna happen. Not long as I'm living. You're not gonna fight our people, man. Our children deserve respect too. I don't know what's wrong with these people in this country and everywhere. Think like our children don't mean nothing. It's the immigrants' children. It's the Spanish children. It's the Jewish community. It's the Arabs. What about ours? I mean, man, we straight up on the back burner. Nobody talking about us. We have to fight for us. This dude didn't say nothing about us. You got Afro think tank coming on here talking about they not thinking about our children, man. We got to think about them. We have to fight for them. They going to school with these people. So he's a professor, but he's not concerned about ours. He more concerned about everybody else. He talking about feminists and all that. It's like, bro, we don't have no divide that you're talking about. Our sisters that are FBA, man, gonna ride with us. Are they gonna ride? Are they not? Are they not? And our brothers that's gonna ride with us, they gonna ride with us. Are they gonna ride? Are they not? They can do whatever they want to do. But I don't see what he's saying. I just don't. I don't see what he's saying. It's like they want to divide between us. And they can't stop this divide.
Man, it's called virtue signaling, man. You know what I'm saying? It's these, you dealing with the academics and they want to come from a place of authority. So they think that they believe to themselves that they have these, whatever these certain credentials that puts them in a place of authority. And that's how a lot of fuck shit got disseminated into society already through the academic class. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Professor Black Truth talk about that. So does Jason Black. Feminism come out of the, and then a lot of these topics and terms come from the academics, like toxic masculinity. These are things that are just created out of thin air, and then they introduced into society, and it starts to shape the group thing. It starts to shape the morality. So we got to understand that just because these people are academics and we expect them to be logical, a lot of times is you too damn smart for your own good. You know what I'm saying? You're so smart, you dumb. So, God, I don't know.
Nah, bro, cause look how long that Ron be on these platforms teaching, bro, and we can listen to that for 4 or 5 hours. This guy, I'm literally like, what? And I'm giving him every opportunity to make sense. It's just like, oh my God. And people that want to listen to stuff like that is just like they cheering him on. They just want him to do it. Like Ron is strictly trying to pull up all receipts. He's doing that right there for himself because he's that type of guy. You could tell he's been doing this for a long time. So what he's doing is challenging everybody. This guy's coming on here, man. I'm like, man, I could have went and got my nephew for this stuff, man. My nephew would have been like, what is he talking about, Unc? What is he talking about?
Yeah, that's why we were saying he was disingenuous. That's why we were saying that, because this is not something that's difficult to grasp. And you're saying, like, none of the logical things you have an issue with, you got issue with a few cats cracking jokes or whatever, something that doesn't change the argument at all. You know what I'm saying? Whatsoever. Mm-hmm. If anything, that's just about decorum, but it don't got nothing to do with what we talking about. You know what I'm saying? The fact that I cracked a joke on you don't make where I come from no different. Man, Ryan got the patience of a,
don't he?
Yeah, because I just wouldn't even have it.
But see, he's looking at it from a different view from us. Because Ron is a teacher too, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Word, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So he teaches school and all this stuff. So he's a professional, but we all are, because this is about our lineage. I don't know what's wrong with these folks, bro. It's like our lineage is very easy for us. It's very acceptable for us, and that's what their problem is. It's like we take it we take it so simply that when we hearing it, we know what it is. They just confused because they've been teaching this stuff so long about Pan-Africanism. They've been teaching everybody else and that how good they are. And they can't believe that all of us turned on a dime. And it's like, we didn't turn on you. We delineated. And it's not just us delineating. There's a lot of Pan-Africans that have delineated. They literally left Pan-Africanism for FBA. So
my thing is just like Ron say, you can be a Pan-African and be FBA. That's not even what we talking about. So like, why is it that we even arguing this shit?
Right.
Like that's the point. You could be whatever you want to be. You know what I'm saying? You still gonna be that. You still gonna be FBA. You still, you know what I mean? Like nobody's saying I could be FBA. I could be if I'm FBA and I'm a boxer. Does that mean like what the hell? That's dumb. Like that don't even make no sense.
You know what?
That don't make no sense.
You know, we got to call for more FBA Pan-Africanists to step up, because I know they're out there, but if they don't step up, the Pan-Africans get to speak for them.
Yep.
Because I'm telling you, if an FBA Pan-Africanist was to step up, it'll catch one of them off guard on the Pan. When they come over here and be talking their little, rehearsed talking points, it'll catch them off guard.
Hey, Ron, can I say something? Hey, Ron, can I say something? I've been patiently listening to everything. I just want to say, the other guy disrespect, dude talking about some, you keep saying you 59, you 59. Hey, I'm 54. I seen movements come and go. And I like FBA because it ain't no group. They keep trying to talk to us like it's a group. I remember back in I remember back in the 90s when everybody was talking about Leviathan 666, Dr. York. You remember that, man?
Yeah.
Remember everybody was talking about Leviathan 666?
Yeah, I was a Nubian.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I used to be a Nubian.
And then that was, and my point was, shit, LBA's made. We the one started that pro-African shit. But once we seen that shit wasn't working, we're like, man, these motherfuckers is tripping. So we just said, hey, we're going to do ourselves. No more pro-African bull crap. No more wearing your diamonds. I threw my diamond away a long time ago. Man, I used to spend gold. I used to have gold-ass change with African symbols on it. I threw it away. So all that, y'all against Africans, y'all against, man, we the one, it won't be no such thing as pro-African if motherfucking FBAs would have never made it up. Now we stepping away from y'all, and everybody got a problem.
Yeah,
and that's all I want to say. They arguing about topics that we started. How you gonna argue about a topic that we once started? Africans didn't start pro-Africans. We started. We started everything. How you gonna argue me about something that restarted? It won't be no pro-African if it wasn't for FBA. Now we stepping away from it, and everybody got a problem. No, man. We gone. Bye. We tried. Now it's time to think about us,
ain't
and
coming
us.
back either. And that's why I keep pointing out the solution. They keep running around the solution. Yeah, these feminist spaces or these red pill. Yeah, but the solution is the delineation. That's what they keep dodging. That's why, to make that clear. Like, yeah, the delineation movement has got us coming together, dropping these arguments, or being more sensitive on these topics. Could be like, you know what, I'm arguing this stuff. Really, the bottom line is us coming together. So we starting to drop. But even in the red pill pages, the space, a lot of these guys get paid for that, so they're going like all their content is red pill stuff, so they're not going to move away from that. Like they're like no different than a lot of Pan-Africans, and that's why like they can't really just drop it and be full-time FBA.
That drop it, man. We
That's where
tried
that
the
money go.
pro-African stuff. It don't work. It don't work. We tried it. We tried it way back in the day. It don't work. Okay, now it's time to move on. FBA is saying, look, we outie. We're going to concentrate on our people. Because trying to say the whole world isn't going to work. And we came together and said, we need to change we need to save our household first. Forget y'all. Because y'all down with everybody else but us.
I think we give Pan-African a little too much credit. That didn't catch fire the way they like to believe it did. Like my relatives have no idea what that garbage is. And then when I go down south, like they know less about it than anybody. Right. But my relatives up north, if I was they might have seen a flag before, but I guarantee they couldn't tell me not one thing about it.
Ron, I used to have to, you know, cape. I used to have to cape for that shit because wasn't nobody on it. Like, yo, people used to. I remember my grandmother them used to be like, yo, my granddad used to crack this joke. He'd be like, yeah, he like, man, you still be butt naked in the jungle if you like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he like, you better be happy you in America. Rather than skip the move.
Yeah, I told you, man.
I'm telling you, bro. So you absolutely right. Like that was never a thing, bro. Like we were the ones pushing the line for that shit. You know what I'm saying? And
right, but they thought we were crazy though. Like you said, they thought we were straight crazy.
They thought we was out. We thought we was out our mind. You know what I'm saying? They like, oh, you ain't no Egyptian. You over here with us. So, you know, and then too, when we dealing with these guys, man, you know, like they don't like. It's amazing. Like, where did we get the argument that we had that Africans were coming to the Americas? Where did that argument come from? Came out of Pan-Africanism.
Right.
So why is it that they find it so hard? Like this is like it's just no matter what we do, we come back in this big circle. It's just a big grip. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like the Pan-African arguments support what we're talking about.
Now you see that the doctor protected that his Garveyite guy. I was like, hey man, let him come through. And then his response was, hey man, just call in. See, that's called protection. Just call in. No, because I seen a lady call in who was cooking on him, and she got talked over, she got blocked. No, I'm not calling in. He needs to come take the pamper off him and send him over here.
Hey Ron, you know that conversation they always say we call them African booty scratchers. Yeah. I think the first time I heard the term African booty scratchers from that movie where Ice Cube was on, from Boys in the Hood, where the little kid said, let me teach y'all about something. We all from Africa. And that little kid said, we're not from Africa, you African booty scratcher.
Oh, I need that.
You remember that scene?
Yeah, I need that.
In the Boys in the Hood, he said, I'm going to teach all y'all. We all from Africa. And that little kid said, we ain't from Africa, you African booty scratcher.
Oh, yeah. I need that clip.
So and then you know, and if you ask me personally, that's more of the grift. Like I'm starting to believe that whole shit was created to take our birthrights away from us. You know what I'm saying? Like
the Pan-African stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Through the academics.
Yeah.
Through the academics.
That's some.
Yeah, the academic class, I believe that was purposely thought of. That was purposely done, you know. And then you start looking at all the lies that they was making up, you know, all these anthropologists that were doing these digs and shit. They was lying through their teeth to give themselves validity. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole lot of bullshit with that.
On a Pan-African thing, when you get the when they define it. Hold on.
Yeah, I think they fooled us with that one. Well, they fooled the elders with that. We all from Africa stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, just the more research I do, I'm starting to come to the realization that did did we come from Africa or did they come from here? Because we got way more pyramids here than it is in Africa, and they're old and they're more rudimentary. They're not as advanced. So that means that they probably came first, right? Because when you're building it advances with technology. It don't get worse. You see, so if our pyramids on this side of the world are less, they're not as complex. I mean, in my opinion, they probably were they were there first. They got better as they did more of. So then by the time they got over there, they had perfected the science. So that's just my own little.
My own little thing too is that all these separated continents, I think we all used to be all connected. So our people was everywhere before the oceans and all that. I believe all the continents was connected together. So we didn't have to have no boats to go somewhere. I think our lifespan time is longer than what people think.
Right, because y'all about to be here for another 5 hours. Let me log on right now. So I get some sleep.
For sure, yeah. Getting into all that, right.
Where I'm like, all right, brother, thank you very much.
All right, Ron.
We'll get together tomorrow, man. Appreciate all of y'all.
All right, thank you for content.
Hold it down,
yes, sir,
Ron. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Peace, everybody. Peace to the chat. Thank you. Chat was strong in here. Peace. Yeah. To be honest, this was gonna be like a 1 hour live, and I was hopping off. I ain't